All right, well, welcome, guys, to another episode of Bottom of the Bill. We got Reed Meyer, that's how you say the last name, right?
Yes, sir.
And Jared Jordan here. And, yeah, thank you guys for being here so much. We're really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Definitely, man. Thanks for having us.
Cheers, guys, before we get started.
Had a long reach.
So some of you might notice that we have a bit of a different setup today with the microphone on the stand and everything. This is definitely going to be something that we're going to be doing moving forward because this is just lovely. I love
Actually being able to like express yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You look like you're on NPR though a little bit.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like being on NPR.
I feel like you're talking differently too,
Because I'm sitting up straight.
or
and like,
something. I don't know. There's something about it, but you sound like you're about to tell us the weather or something.
Yeah. All right, guys. So before we get started, couple dates you want to announce, or not announce, just let you know about again. Tuffy's Music Box in Orlando on July 29th with Side Hustle. Hooch and Hive in Tampa on July 30th. 1904 Music Hall on the 31st. This is all in support of our album release happening on July 30th with our good friends from Asheville, North Carolina, Andrew Scotchy and the River Rats. And we also have our good friends Widgeon on the Jacksonville show, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you get your tickets for those. We got Orange Blossom Review in December. Make sure you get your tickets for those as well. They just added Blackberry Smoke to that lineup, so that's pretty dope. And then I'm going to be solo at Monkey's Uncle in Jack's Beach on June 24th, The Garage on June 25th, Brewhound on June 26th, and ABBQ on June 27th, so you can come catch some solo stuff. And you guys got stuff you want to promote coming up?
We actually, as a production team, we're working with this artist from Guam, where I'm originally from, and he's got a single releasing Friday, with the music video and everything. It's called Clickbait. His name is Jonah Hanum.
Awesome.
And yeah, man, we've been working with him for a while, so we're excited for that release. We're at the point now where we're done with the mix, we're done with all the production, and we sent it to him, and we could just like sit back and now just kind of wait for the video to come in and just listen to it. So
hell yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
been over a year in the making.
yeah, it's been a while. It's been a lot of sessions, a lot of hands have touched the song, and it came out cool. It's got like an 80s hip hop mix to it, and he's like originally he sang island music, reggae music, and with us he's kind of ventured off a little bit more into hip hop and R&B. We got a producer, his name's Spiff Sinatra from Atlanta. He did some co-production on it as well, so we're excited to see how it turns out, man.
That's awesome, man. I'm
Definitely,
stoked to
man.
hear it.
We definitely did a dope job bringing some of that kind of ATL vibe to the track.
Make sure you're talking to the mic.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Spiff, you did a great job for us bringing some of the kind of Atlanta vibe to the track. I kind of feel like Ricky Bobby over here, like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It's a little awkward at first. We get used to it.
Going in a big circle.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be cool. The song is really unique, and we'll see. People may hate it, and we're
That's
fine
always
with
gonna
that.
happen, right? I mean, it doesn't matter if it's amazing. People are still gonna hate it.
Definitely, man. I always say if you got haters, you're doing something right.
Absolutely, man. Billy and I were just having this conversation yesterday. You gotta crack a couple eggs to make an omelet sometimes.
What were we talking
I like
about
omelets.
though? I can't remember though.
Well, let's not talk about it specifically, right? Because we don't want to call anybody out. But sometimes you gotta.
Oh,
sometimes
I
you
remember
gotta-
what it was.
you
Yeah.
gotta- Sometimes if everybody likes you, then you're doing something wrong.
100%.
I feel like,
Yeah. Not everybody's gonna like you.
Yeah.
But that was the argument that you catch more flies with honey, is what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
and that you were the least personable person on the planet.
I'm not the least.
I'm
personable
sorry,
person on the planet.
personable reptilian, not person. I'm sorry to offend you.
Billy-
Hybrid of some sorts.
Yeah, Billy. No,
Oh,
Billy
for
thinks
sure.
I'm confirmed reptilian from the start.
I can't think and confirm it if you're not confirmed, and you are confirmed, so it is confirmed. I don't
Yeah.
think I
I've
know.
been called a hybrid many times. for years.
Really?
I don't know if that means I'm some sort of.
Are you reptilian too?
Am I reptilian hybrid? I don't know. Is like.
I don't
what's
know.
his name? David Icke gonna come out and like.
You know who David Icke is?
I know who David Icke
Everybody
is.
knows who
Absolutely,
David
I
Icke
know
is,
who
bro.
David Icke
No,
Billy
they
is.
thinks he's
don't.
hip to some weird shit.
I'm
He's not.
I don't know who.
Hey man,
so
COVID
you
did a
can-
lot of
you
weird
can-
things to all of us.
I'm just saying, man. He's the best. You watch all of his presentations and stuff.
I
his
do.
PowerPoint
I
presentations.
do because
TED
I mean,
Talks.
So
I never
boring.
know like.
So incredibly
It's
amazing.
crazy, and I'm like, I don't know like how crazy this guy is or isn't, but like this is freaking crazy. Like,
He's crazy. He's there was like a Vice documentary that did it, like a real short one, and he like lives on the Isle of Man, like in the middle of fucking nowhere in the sea of like Great Britain or whatever. And he's like I have to live out here. Otherwise they're gonna fucking.
He's like, I'm
get
not
me.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. Like you're fucking crazy for not coming out here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's nuts.
He's a wild boy.
Yeah.
Maybe onto something.
It's like British Gary Busey, basically.
That's a pretty good.
That's good.
I like
That's
that.
good.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's get what's your guys' background? How'd you get started doing this thing? Just in general, it doesn't not even like production right now. Just like from an early age, like when did you discover music as a passion?
I definitely always had a passion for music. It's kind of funny. Like some of my first memories of music are like so ironic because I'm definitely not a fan of country music in general. But like, I guess you can't really avoid it when you grow up in North Florida. So
Yeah.
I kind of remember growing up listening to like a bunch of 90s and 80s country. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like there's some good music in 90s and 80s country and classic country, but also like Motown and classic rock. And I just kind of always knew that like, this is like something I'm very interested in. If I can find a way to make a career out of this, I definitely want to do it because it's just fun. And at a certain point in time, I started playing the alto sax, and then eventually moved on to mallet percussion when I was in school band, and just kind of eventually started playing in bands because you think, man, I want to be playing some rock bands, be a cool guy, play guitar, play bass, and then eventually you do enough of that, and you're like, man, I kind of just like being in the studio, like making music, recording it, because performing kind of gives me anxiety. And
Yeah.
It's like I could sit in the studio, be in the house by myself for 2 hours, not fuck up once, get around people, and it's like, I don't know what happened to me. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Maybe it just makes sense for me to park my ass in the studio, have a good time, take some of the pressure off.
Is
feel
is
that.
that what it is? Is that why you like being in the studio more too?
No, there's an
He's
aspect
shy.
of that. I still like.
Yeah,
I,
he's shy.
No, I love performing too. I definitely feel more of a pressure with performing than I do in the studio though. Like a studio, like you have ample time to just get your stuff down. When you're not on the clock, anyways.
Yeah, as long as you go in there with a plan and know I feel you. I mean, the red light is still a thing. Like,
Sure, but also I feel like there's like it's a playground for musicians and for producers alike. It's you go in there and you have everything at your fingertips. It's like every possibility. It's like, well, I'm hearing this idea, so we can make that happen. And I love that aspect of the studio.
yeah, whereas live,
Absolutely.
you just kind of got to work with what you got.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, we start with just a blank session and just lay something down, and then like you said, man, it's like a playground. You can do whatever, because you can go for one idea for 10 minutes, and if it doesn't really work, you just move on. You open up a
Right.
new blank session,
Right.
and there's no pressure to really get it right. Now you want to get it right, obviously, but to circle back on what Jerry was saying, without that pressure of like getting it right in this moment, it's a different beast. Like there are pressures within the studio, especially if people are paying for studio time.
Yeah,
if you're paying
totally.
for studio time, like every minute matters.
Yeah, you got to be efficient for sure.
Totally.
But as far as just when you're in the studio for yourself and you're kind of just making music and you're just using it as that creative release, it is nice to not have that you need to do this right now,
Right.
when you're playing a specific song.
Right. Well, what's your background, Reed? Where'd you? So you grew up in Guam.
Yeah, so I was born and raised on the island of Guam, man. I was there until I was 19 years old. Growing up, my dad was big into sports, and I am too. Like, I love sports. Sports were a big part of my life growing up, and that was probably the main thing I was doing. But
this dude will dunk on you.
Really?
He'll be
player?
modest,
A little
man.
bit.
I play basketball too, and this man beat me. I was out of shape. Dude beat me 11-2.
Yeah.
That does not happen to me.
Yeah.
I gave up, and I was up 2-1. At that point in time, I was like, he is going to smash me.
Oh my God.
He's being modest.
but-
Billy likes to play basketball too.
I love basketball. I'm from Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh yeah, nice.
So I'm a huge Wildcats fan and watched college basketball and pro ball and everything like that, and went to basketball camp every year, and then never made
Yeah.
a team because I'm short and chubby.
I mean, it's all about the love. It's all about the love.
pulling
That's
for
all
in
that
the
really
NBA this
matters.
year?
Huh?
Who you pulling for in the NBA?
Yeah, I love. I don't really have a team because like I'm a Kentucky fan, so I just like watching my Kentucky players crush it. So Jamal Murray and the Nuggets
Yeah.
for sure. Like I want them to go far.
Yeah,
They've
and,
been
Julius
pretty.
Randle was from
Devin,
Kentucky, right?
Devin
That's right.
Booker.
Yeah, Devin Booker
Booker.
too.
He's
killing
You can
it.
just keep on going. I think there's like
Damn,
25.
Devin Booker.
That's crazy.
John Rondo's in there. Anthony Davis, of course. I mean, John Wall. Go move it to another city. You want to keep talking about basketball? Or what's up?
Yeah, let's change the topic.
That's one where they score the touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiger
Yeah.
Woods is probably the GOAT.
There
The
you
goat
go.
of basketball,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah, sounds about right.
You talked about breaking some legs. You know, you gotta break some legs.
Oh my God! Too
soon?
soon, bro. Too soon.
Sorry,
No,
Tiger.
but,
That's what this podcast is all about.
But honestly, I've been too busy to watch any sports. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
And in fact, like I have this whole projector and TV and all this stuff that I pay for sports channels and everything like that. I haven't turned on this TV in over a week, at
Wow.
least.
That means you're probably being more productive.
I'm
than
being
I am.
I'm being productive.
That's probably a good thing.
But yeah, and I love sports just as much as the next person. Not he doesn't like it, but
don't care about
he
sports
just
at
doesn't
all.
care about it. But it's
Yeah.
just like I fucking don't have time. That's like such a huge commitment to follow
Yeah.
a team. I'll watch a baseball
100%.
game every now and then. That's about it.
So, anyways, yeah. So
yeah,
I'm
back-
from Guam, and growing up, sports was a big part, but music was always there because my dad, who exposed me to pretty much, at a young age, a lot of things that influenced me. He was big into music as well, so that was always there. He pushed me to, learn instruments, and I always just naturally sang just because I enjoyed doing it. If I was in a car with somebody, growing up, or if I was in, obviously in the shower, or just sing along to my favorite songs. And naturally, through singing and developing that skill, I found my way into a, relatively small music community on Guam. It's still powerful, man. The music community on Guam is a really powerful thing. There's really talented people, but it's a small island, so the community itself is rather small.
Probably hard to get off to tour and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's no
that.
touring at all, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do gigs here and there, and that's what I did in high school. There was I'm not saying I did gigs, but there was a weekly thing where my dad would pay would pay me, and I would just. He worked a deal with this one tavern to just let me sing on Monday nights for a couple hours, and then give me a meal. So I did that for a few years.
Were you playing an instrument as well, or you just singing?
Just singing the backing tracks and stuff.
Okay.
I sang jazz, like crooner stuff, So
Okay,
I would
cool.
have backing tracks of full bands, a lot of Michael Bublé stuff, because that's kind of what got me into that.
It's not easy stuff to sing.
Yeah, it's not. There's a certain aesthetic you got to do, and it's a little different from how I normally sing, but it's fun. I mean, it's fun. But so then through that, I got into what my fiance likes to tease me as. She calls it a boy band, but it was just a little trio me and my buddies in high school had. That was when I was about 16, and then naturally, we went into the studio with a guy that was in a band there, a pretty big reggae band. He liked the song we did with him at his studio enough, and he was dating my buddy's aunt at the time. He gave us a bunch of studio gear.
Oh, wow.
And I kind of just took it upon myself to kind of learn how to navigate it, so we didn't really have to go to the studio. We just chilled, and when we were chilling, which we did a lot, we just made music. So through that, I just learned Pro Tools, and I learned how to use, just get a feel for how to have an idea and get it recorded. And then, I went and played college ball for a year at a D3 school, and I just kind of lucked out. There was a pretty big studio. It wasn't big. It was kind of big in the Christian world, but there was an engineer who was a country engineer who was there every now and then, and I was able to work it so that I actually got an internship there and used that as a credit, and I learned, through that I learned even more, and then I said, you know what, I can only get so far with basketball, I feel, because I'm not playing D1, I'm not really pursuing it. It's just Division III, and I was like, I could
What
go.
school did you play for?
It's so it's in the same town as James Madison University, but it's called Eastern Mennonite University.
Eastern Mennonite.
And it's
Wait,
in a
were your
pretty-
parents missionaries over in Guam?
No.
Oh, okay.
no.
Sorry. I was just wondering because it's a Christian school and everything.
No, my dad was a librarian.
Oh, okay.
He named me Reed. He's a librarian. He named me Reed.
Many leather-bound books.
Like, what a jerk. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I mean, I ended up, you know, just kind of getting my own little setup when I moved here with my fiance, and just kind of kept it around. I ended up going to UNF for music, and through that I met Jared. I worked at a smoke shop, and he came to buy a rig. I'm sorry.
Brings people together.
Should I be talking about that? Are you cool with that? I'm sorry.
I'm totally.
Yeah. So
I
he
don't care.
came to buy a rig,
Med-card approved.
and we ended up talking about music. And he's like, "Yeah, come to the studio." I came. He did like I showed him a song I was working on at the time. I had been making beats for a few years, and he did a little master for me for free. I ended up taking a couple more projects to him. Through that, we just developed a good working relationship and just a really strong like friendship, through it. And here we are now, just working with different artists and
Definitely
and
the best
really-
trip to the smoke shop I've ever had.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. So when you were coming up, Jared, were you were playing in bands and stuff before you
Yeah,
got
I kind
into
of
production?
started out like in the I guess like the metal scene a little bit. It's kind of funny to me, like the Christian metalcore scene. It's a weird place to come up as far as this kind of exists like in a bubble. You see them
Sure.
playing with the other hardcore bands, other metal bands, but it's always I don't know. At some point, I realized there was a ceiling to that. Like even the most successful metal bands in the world, they still kind of have a ceiling as far as like I don't know, like Metallica and Slayer, obviously freaking huge, but like you see a lot of like your heroes living in a van, and nothing against that, but I realized I was like, man, that's not long-term success as far as like having a house, a family. Like that's going to be hard to maintain.
Man, can I, not to derail you, but I actually do want to dive into that scene a little bit, because I've got friends that have very successful bands. Actually, speaking of, Jared and I used to work at Guitar Center together a long time ago, and our good friend at the time, I haven't spoken to him in a long time, Dylan Michaels.
Thinking about Dylan, man,
Yeah.
Yashira, a freaking amazing band. Luke and Dylan, man, both,
yeah,
both
totally,
awesome.
man, totally. And actually, I do want to get Dylan on the podcast. It'd be cool to get his perspective, because we haven't had anybody in that scene on here yet. But when I first moved to Jacksonville, I mentioned a friend of mine named Lennon Levisay, who was in a band. I forget what the name of the band was, but as soon as I said that, he knew exactly who I was talking about. And like apparently Lennon's band has like headlined huge festivals all around the country in that scene. But Lennon also works at Whole Foods when he's at home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like your band's headlining huge festivals, like
huge.
What we would think of like string cheese level and shit like that, and you're still working at Whole Foods. How does that make any sense? That scene is
Gotta
so
make that
weird.
money.
I feel like it's like, I don't know, man. I don't want to, because every promoter is different, but
Sure.
I almost feel like it's like the nature of some of the promoters in that business, but also like what the bands will allow. Because
Yes.
if their most important thing to them is to just perform for an audience and a big crowd, then you can be manipulated into taking gigs for not the pay that you deserve. So
And also, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, the landscape of the music industry now is completely different. Things have become a lot more like socialized, I guess you could say, where the wealth is kind of spread out a little bit. And
Yeah.
if you're a solo artist, right, you can, it's very possible to go and get $100,000. That's 1,000 people paying $100 every year, right? So that's it's possible to go do that now as a independent solo artist. But if you're a band let's say you got 5 members, you can still go out and get that 100,000, but that's what, 20,000 to each of you. So like that's a nice chunk of change, and you're doing what you love, but you still got to go get a side job.
Well, yeah, but
to kind of bring that back to a living wage.
Totally. But what happens more specifically in the hardcore and metal scene is that there is something where the promoters take there's a lot of pay to play mentality.
100%.
Promoters.
It's in the hip hop scene too,
Oh,
man.
hip hop big
Yeah.
time. Oh, even worse in hip hop scene than it is in the hardcore scene. I
yeah.
feel like. But and I also noticed it in the hardcore scene where you have like 10 bands on one bill.
On the same bill,
But
yeah.
we're not talking at a festival. We're talking at a music venue, local. You'll have 10.
Those
they
metal
got
shows are
20-minute
so
sets.
silly to me. I just don't understand
It's
how.
not silly. It's just a different. It's such a different dynamic than
Well,
the jam band world.
what's so silly to me is that there's so many bands and that it's still the same amount of time. So they're all just playing for 15 minutes,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
It's because they
that-
just need the people. They want the people from those bands to come out and.
Yeah.
I understand, man. It's cutthroat. Like they got to make their guarantees. They got to pay their touring bands, but like something about the numbers of it just doesn't.
But the
makes-
touring bands aren't even making money.
They're-
Though.
yeah,
That's what's
you're right
wild
about that.
it.
Yeah,
you know,
man, they
it's like I understand like grind like in the jam band scene. It's similar where you grind it out for a long time and you don't make any money for a long time, but there's a payoff at the end of it. Like, for sure, like if you're successful in this scene, you can make a lot of money, right? But in the hardcore scene and the metal scene as a whole, it's like you don't know that. Like success in that scene looks different.
It looks a lot.
And that's
Right.
it's just a wild concept to me.
It's crazy because they can have more visibility, be super popular, but I just don't see them being. I mean, I'm not gonna act like stuff I'm doing over here like I'm super paid from what I'm doing or anything, but I just I see musicians and I see people that are going out. A lot of people want to talk shit on the cover scene, but it's like, at least I see these musicians going out here demanding something for their services, putting the and you can promote your music or your original music still while you're playing covers. So there's no shame to me in playing covers, doing what the people want,
Sure.
and then still marketing yourself as a original musician at the same time.
That's my bread and butter right now, man, 100%. But I mean, there's a big thing about what we talk about a lot in this podcast, probably too much in Billy's perspective.
You talk about
is
it way
that
too much.
that is a very quick dead end road if you don't look at it as just a means to an end rather than just the
You
end
can't be your
itself.
main focus. No one
Yeah.
wants to be Boyce Avenue. No offense to Boyce Avenue. Like
Who's
that's
that?
pretty.
Are
They're
they-
like they're a band that just kind of like blew up doing covers. I remember seeing them on YouTube. They did dope ass covers. It's kind of funny. I remember doing like some like Daughtry covers and stuff, like some weird like random songs. But you're like, yo, this is actually kind of tight. When
It's cool, man. I'd be into doing some shit like that. What I can't do the rest of my life is playing Last Dance to Mary Jane.
Oh
at a
my
bar for
god,
4
yeah,
hours.
I love Tom Petty, man. But like when people free bird,
Yeah.
like
I
we're
can't
in
do-
Jacksonville, man. You can't
Yeah.
escape it.
I can't do that shit
What
anymore.
wasn't it? The Postmodern Jukebox. I like them a lot.
Yeah, they're
those
great.
are probably the best ones that do covers.
Their original music is amazing too.
Right, but no one cares.
The-
But I'm
Easy,
just-
man.
That's the truth, though, because that's what you're marketing as a
Yeah.
cover band. That's why you got to keep it separate. But that Postmodern Jukebox thing that's it for them, right?
Yeah,
No.
but the thing is, that's their art, though. They are
It's
doing
great.
covers at the same time. They're rearranging it and they're making a new sound and a new aesthetic to an already existing thing. And that's how different is that from if we're gonna we can kind of connect that to maybe people that make collages or taking something
Even
that already
sampling, man,
exists,
in
or
hip-hop.
sampling. So it's like. There's definitely a creative merit to that, and it
Sure.
all depends on like what you are happy doing, because even I kind of struggle with this sometimes in the music industry where you are even just trying to get in the first place. You see a lot of people kind of doing what you may want to do, or you're feeling like there's a certain way you should be doing things, or there's like a certain life to live as a musician or artist, but really it's just about expressing yourself and being happy with what you're doing in the first place,
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
Like
and
being
not
in the
pursuing
moment.
like what you think you should be doing to gain the result you think you want, but rather just expressing yourself and getting that creative release out, doing it genuinely, and being okay with what happens,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, blaze your own trail on that shit. For sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Snoop Dogg's podcast that he has?
No.
It's called Double G News, I think is
I
what it's
can't
called.
believe I've never seen it.
Oh, it's on video all the time. Bill Burr's on it all the time. They're like best friends.
for real?
But yeah, it's really great. But today, or not today, but it was like a callback. 50 Cent was on there, and 50 Cent had the best thing in the world to say. He said, "Don't try to be like anybody else. Be like you, because nobody can be you.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the original sound." And
Yeah.
and then Snoop Dogg was just like, "Yeah, I know. They were trying to get me to do the triplet thing and start rapping like that way, like Future and everybody like that." And they're
Yeah.
just like, "I'm not Snoop Dogg. I'm not fucking doing that."
Yeah.
It makes no
'cause, like,
sense.
and that's the thing. That's when you lose sight of what's really important, because you know, and I run into this all the time as a producer, where your job is to make it a product, right? So
Yeah.
obviously, if you're making something a product, there needs to be some kind of system. But at the same time, how do you stay true to that creative process where you're not putting any binds on that creative release from the artist or from yourself?
Right.
You know, so how do you finding that balance is important, and it's really just about being comfortable with yourself and what you like and what you think sounds good, and just maximizing on that and being creative in how you express that.
Totally.
You know, and not doing it necessarily how those influences you might have had, right? Like, let's say for me, right, Frank Sinatra is like a big influence on just my overall sound.
Oh yeah.
And just the music, the big band crooner music, right? And so now as a producer, I'm not gonna go out and I'm not gonna try and make big band music, but at the same time, there are elements of big band that I really appreciate and that make me like it in the first place. So you got to get down to really what is it about those elements that you like, right? And how can you now apply it to what would be relevant, you know, nowadays? Because you know, if you're just trying to do what other people do, then you know you're not really going to progress the art as a whole.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think the inauthenticity kind of translates as well. You know, people as listeners, I think you owe them the originality that you can bring to the table, because they're not fools. Like you do a show or you release music and they hear it and they feel like it's not real. They pick up on that and they don't reward you with their their commitment to you. You know,
100%.
So, but I do want to get into the production stuff in a minute, but but Jared, so you were playing in hardcore bands and stuff. So continue on that.
So kind of eventually, you know, once I realized there was just kind of like a cap on where I saw the hardcore scene, I, you know, the genius that is I was like, let's play pop punk now.
That's a big thing here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's
man.
a super big thing in Jacksonville, and I still love pop punk, man. No, don't get me wrong. Like, there's some bands that I really love. Like, I love Newfound Glory, like Story So Far. I mean, that's kind of a more recent band. I mean, I feel like, I'm almost 32 now, so I mean that band's been around for a while now too. So like when I list some of these bands, I'm like, man, they've been around for years still.
Yeah,
but
Newfound Glory came out when we were like in middle school, because I'm almost 32
Yeah.
also. Yeah.
So I still kind of realized, I was like, yo, like there's Fall Out Boy, there's still only a few bands that are like really having that major success, and I don't know that there was really a conscious decision that I made, but kind of just over time, combined with like my musical interests, eventually it just kind of shifted, and kind of from there kind of got more into blues, kind of, you know, more into jazz a little bit, and just kind of started to shift my focus a little bit. And then, you know, I ended up in the studio, and I ended up working with an artist. Now he goes by Christian Paul. When I worked, I just knew him as Christian at the time. He actually ended up working with a pretty big label, actually the same label Anderson .Paak was signed to for a while. So
Okay. What's the name of the label?
The label's called 12 Tone. He's not on that label anymore, but
Okay.
he's actually up in Nashville right now working. He's kind of shifted his focus and decided to go back more into like the Christian direction.
Okay.
But that's the main thing I've kind of just learned, is just stick true to yourself, because if you make compromises with who you are or what you're comfortable with, just to try to make it, it's not going to work out for you, man. You just got to be who you are.
Totally.
And so, kind of coming close to having some big moments, and then putting everything into kind of one basket. You just kind of see, like, that's a flawed mindset. You cannot put all your eggs into one basket.
Right.
You have to, you just have to put the work in every day, and also give everybody equal opportunity, man. Like,
Right.
You can see, like, obviously when you see people who have talent, they're going to put you onto a stage, a showcase, but I've been just like really pleasantly surprised with, over the years, going out, seeing people perform, and then bringing them back to my studio, and then just being amazed, frankly, by what they bring to me. Or like, it may be kind of obscure in a way, but like, you never know how that's going to come back around. And that's one of the main things I've seen, is just never trying to make your mind up about anything before you go into it. Just go into it with an open mindset.
Totally, man. Was our good friend Westbrook, plays Melody Trucks band. He was on the podcast a few months back, and one of his things is like, in the first 10 years of your music career, just say yes to everything, and just like
Totally.
don't, like you're saying, don't put all your eggs in that one basket, especially not right away. and be open-minded about every opportunity that comes at you. You know, that's like, I mean, it's just the best learning experience you could possibly have. Hey everyone, just want to take a second to talk to you about one of our favorite music venues, Blue Jay Listening Room. Blue Jay is a space for true music lovers where every ticket is a backstage pass. Silence your cell phones, enjoy a nice glass of wine or craft beer, and be part of an intimate experience unlike anywhere else in Jacksonville. Hear national and local artists sing their original songs and share the stories behind them in a space carefully curated for the premier show-going experience. I personally have seen some of my favorite shows here, as well as having played with some of my heroes. Not only is Blue Jay a wonderfully unique experience, it has become a staple in the Florida music scene. Mention Bottom of the Bill on your next visit and receive 10% off your tab. Blue Jay is located at 2457 3rd Street South, Jacksonville Beach, and be sure to check out www.bluejayjacks.com for news, ticketing, and events.
You learn what to say no to by saying yes to everything at first. I used to, after a while, you're like, man, if I say yes to everything, I feel desperate. But until you have done that and you've gone through it, how else are you going to know what to look for?
Right. I was just talking to somebody about that recently where I was like, it's like you kind of, after a while, start to that's what Billy and I were talking yesterday about it. It's like by saying yes to everything, you start to realize, as you get older, you start to realize what these opportunities are before you even do the opportunities.
And the value of your own time.
Exactly. And then that's why it's really important to say yes to everything, because you kind of need to get fucked a couple of times before you really realize, what's happening,
Yeah.
So, Reed, you went to UNF.
I did, yeah. I graduated there in the music technology and production degree they have there. It's still a relatively new degree.
Yeah. Who did you study under?
So they, unfortunately, by the time I was leaving, that's when they really started to kind of load up on full-time faculty for that degree.
Okay.
So in the times I was there, I mean, there were a couple adjuncts that really made a pretty big impression on me, and my first couple years being in the city. One of them being Alex Hayward.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Alex Hayward was a huge, he was just a big figure in me being comfortable with being here and pursuing things here, because, he's just such a down to earth person, and he's literally been through everything as far as, working for the bigger names, and then also working for himself, and even venturing off into other, I think he had a clothing store,
Oh, I didn't
so
know
like, just as far as being an overall musical entrepreneur, he's been a big influence and a big, I wouldn't say mentor, because he kind of had to do it because he was like my teacher, but still him just being super open to giving me the opportunities, no matter how big or small it was, that made a big influence, a bigger influence than the school as a whole.
Sure.
Now, going there, I met a lot of great musicians, a lot of relationships that I still, have kept to this day, as far as guys that will get in the studio, Elon.
He's amazing.
Yeah, the guitarist.
Elon kills it.
We get with him pretty much every week, and just create, man. We've made some incredible music together. And a number of other guys, John Medico.
John's amazing.
Cyrus.
Cyrus isn't a
is
UNF guy, but I met him through a UNF guy, Liston Gregory.
Yeah,
So
these are all like the top.
Yeah.
Oh,
guys,
dude.
man. Yeah.
Dude, so we'll to this day we get them in the studio and we just create, man, and we've made some amazing stuff. And to be honest, most of the stuff I've learned in Jared's studio, but the relationships I built through UNF, that's a real valuable part,
That seems to be everybody's takeaway from music school, is that it's not so much, I mean, the information obviously is there, but the information's available to anybody now through the internet and hard work or whatever. But like, I feel like the relationships, the doors that school opens is kind of like the invaluable thing about it.
And especially in music technology, because there's a lot of things that are pretty obscure and abstract as far as wrapping your mind around it. So like, you know, even just something as basic as compression, right? Like that took me a while of actually using compressors to figure it out. But if I'm in class and the teacher's like, this is what's happening, like, yeah, I get that, but how does that sound, and how does that even matter if you apply it, you know?
Right.
So there's so many things that you just like learn through doing that school can't necessarily give you.
It's kind of like watching your algebra teacher solve the equation on the board, but like you actually have to go home and do your homework or take your test. Until you do it, that's just, you know, you've just watched.
And in our field, like, you gotta go do it yourself. You gotta figure out how you can do it yourself, whether it's doing it at home or you know, going to studios and actually investing into that experience. You know, it's so important to continue your own personal education, because there isn't one thing that's going to solve everything for you, and you're just going to miraculously figure it all out.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Now, I'm not trying to downplay music school, because, you know, my story's a little different. You know, the way my mind works and the way I just kind of, the way I see music is different than other people. But, you know, if you're just a musician, no, I'm sorry, I don't mean to say just a musician. I'm just saying, if you're a musician going to music school to hone in on you learning the guitar, you know, or the keys, you know, like if that's also your focus, like, music school is great because it forces you got to go to class. You got to make sure you go to school. You got to go to your lessons with your teacher, prepared to do whatever they have asked you to do, you know. Right. So like, music school is great for that. I'm just saying, in my case, at least with UNF, because the degree was still young, you know, I still had to
where
go
they
out,
were in their program at that time.
I still had to go out and kind of be a little bit more active in my own education, just you know, because of where the school was and when I was there. I
mean, you're one of the few people I know, though, that have been in that program that I feel like has made the most of it. Like, I've known quite a few people that have been in that program, but like, as far as everyone I know that has gone on to do something, at least as far as production, or, you know, I see you working, I still, you know, we're working in that field. Yeah. No slight to anybody else, but I know a lot of people that just didn't, they didn't put the work in.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, another person that's kind of taken not fully dedicated to that, but is still using a lot of it, is Chris Underdahl. Do you know him?
Yeah, I know Chris.
Yeah.
Dude,
I've met Chris a time or two over at I've seen him playing at Perfect Rack before, and I've seen him I want to say over at Taz's studio. I've seen him over there before. He actually hit me up about wanting to record some tracks. Yeah,
he's a good dude, man. He works with my girlfriend Chelsea. They have a band called Alchematic. But yeah, Chris he's not you know, fully an engineer, right? Mm-hmm. But he's used that, but he's built a really nice little home setup, and uses a lot of it for his own personal stuff. So I mean, yeah, but that's, you know, it's funny because even though UNF's tech program might not be up to par with, like, you know, Full Sail or SAE or whatever. Right. It's like there's it's
got to start somewhere.
Yeah, but I also know more people coming out of UNF that did something with those degrees. The people that I know from Full Sail or SAE haven't done, like, literally, like,
it's like you go there for a laptop, man.
Yeah, I know several people there that've gone to both schools that just haven't done shit with their degree. Right. It's almost like
I heard they count like working at Best Buy as a job in the film industry. I've heard that. Like,
really?
Yeah, distinctly. I've heard that that's a thing. Like, I don't want to talk any
I can't
trash
speak
on
to
Full
that,
Sail, but
I can't speak to that.
I have I know, like, a long time ago, apparently it used to be the place to be. The main thing that I hear now is the value of the network is really what you get at Full Sail. Now, maybe if you're going for like something like, you know, working on video games, something that's like highly specific like that, maybe it's more of a necessity. But I think with music, it's more about what he's speaking to is like the power of the network. Like, you know, I didn't even go to UNF, but through meeting him and, you know, being just exposed to that network of musicians, like,
like, there's so many incredible musicians that come out of UNF that just like that blow my mind how good they are. You know, like listen, Gregory, again, just to mention him, like I could watch Listen play the keys forever just because to him it's like breathing, you know. And these guys really honed in on their craft at UNF, you know, and like you were saying,
it's like breathing. It is like that for them.
There's no thinking involved.
Yeah, it's just like, and whatever's coming out is literally just like this beautiful thing.
And that's why I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying, you know, the program there isn't, it's lackluster, but more so, it's like with anything, you gotta be in, that interest has to be there from within, no
Totally.
school or anything is going to spoon feed you anything, you need to be actually interested in it and pursue it yourself,
Maybe it not being at those other levels of Full Sail or like other degrees is like what makes such great people come out of that network, because it is
inner motivation.
Yeah, because it literally makes you have to work harder to get the information,
and
that
you
kind
gotta
of weeds
go out
out.
and you gotta meet people and you gotta
Exactly.
you gotta build these relationships to be able to learn it and be able to do it. And the people that come out of it actually knowing how to do it, they're a lot more prepared, and dealing with people's everything as well. So
Totally, man.
that's
Big part of the industry that is overlooked, I feel like, in school is like the people skills that it takes to kind of grow your individual brand.
I think about that as far as being a business owner when I was earlier in my career. It's like I don't want to say this was like entirely my mindset, but I used to have kind of a mindset of like, if you build it, they will come. Like if you build a nice studio, people will know, oh, this is a nice place. I need to record here. It's
you
like,
and everybody else.
No, yeah, everyone. Like a lot of people are going to think the same thing as you. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is not your gear. It's what comes out of your studio.
Yeah.
And so if you're working with good musicians, you're putting out, quality music, people are going to notice that.
Yeah.
Also, if you go the extra mile and you work hard for everyone who comes in and you make sure that they feel that value of the dollar that they give you, that's paramount.
So this kind of leads into the next question that I want to ask you guys. How have you been able to establish yourselves / how are you establishing yourself in this very highly competitive industry?
I kind of think first and foremost, like I view myself as very lucky to have met Reed and started working with him closely, because together we've started working. The artist we were talking about, Jonah Hanum, that's got that song Clickbait coming out. Like the first song we worked on together was for an artist called his name's Jed. No, it's Jed. He's also another artist from Guam, and it's a pretty cool song. When we started working with Jonah, it was I heard his voice and I realized like the talent and the potential that was there. I mean, Reed was the first person I didn't even note it, until we got into actual mix session. And the first song that we did for him, the song City Girl, that song's getting close to breaking 300,000 streams on Spotify now.
Wow.
And he's got another joint called I Was in Love that's getting close to breaking 100,000.
This is an artist out of Guam?
Yeah.
Okay.
And things have just kind of taken off from there, and it's really amazed me. Like, it's a small island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but like the power that just one small network can have.
Yeah, and your question is how to hone in. It's really like what I said earlier. Being genuine about it. Doing it because you love to do it. When I approached Jonah through Twitter, I had just seen some stuff he'd posted. And I just really liked his songwriting, and I knew he was a young guy. He was like 19 when we first started, collaborating, and I was just amazed by the lyricism and just how sophisticated what he was saying was. And I just sent him some beats, and we made a track. And I've never charged him for anything. It's really just, dude, I want to be a part of what you do, and I feel the feeling is mutual because of the music I've made. He actually the boy band that I mentioned earlier, he says that was a big influence for him, because we were one of the first few hip hop acts that
you
were
branching out, not just
started doing gigs and started building some kind of hype. Like, it didn't really lead to anything, but we were still like, we had some kind of following. We had a music video that came out, had like 30,000, views. It was like we were on the news.
That's awesome.
Dude, I would have people coming up, like middle schoolers coming up to me with a piece of paper asking me to sign an autograph. Like, it was all. It was such a crazy experience, and he was really young. He wasn't that. I think he was maybe like middle school when I was in high school and that was going on, and he was just seeing, I guess, that was possible to some degree. And
you showed him that. You were one of the people that showed him that.
Yeah, me and along with my other buddies, Tyler and Giorgio, and I guess I didn't even know that we were a big influence until we kind of started talking about it. And through that, you know, we just did things. Money was never an issue. Like, we never did things for the money. We did it because he liked my beats. I liked how he expressed his ideas lyrically, and it was just like peanut butter and jelly, man. And the first song we released, you know, it blew up. The second song did pretty good numbers. I actually flew him out here to here. He lived with me for 3 months, and we just made close to, what was it, like 30
to 40 songs, yeah, man.
No
Like,
shit.
crazy.
And we went to Atlanta, we went to Las Vegas, we went to the Hideout in Las Vegas.
Craziest studio I've ever been in.
Thanks to, you know, my good friend and one of a big mentor in all of this, my buddy Mac Lawless. He helped kind of build that network, you know, outside of Jacksonville in Las Vegas, and
So he's from Jax.
Yeah,
Mac-
Mac is from
Mac?
Jax.
Yeah,
He works.
yeah.
He's got a spot over down on King Street.
And he's working out in Las Vegas now.
no, he still lives
Oh,
here.
he still lives here.
But
Okay.
you said he does have some sessions coming up with Nick out there. You said he's going to be assistant for like Travis Scott or something.
Really?
Yeah, just like he works with Nick Hotchkiss out of the Hideout there, and he does some assisting. And Nick has some high profile clients, you know, and he does some great work, man. He works with some local acts, some bands around the area.
I know he's DJ'd for a long time as well.
Yeah, he's just a musical guy. He's also a very
He
he's
worked
a
for
keen-
MF Doom's label. Like,
Oh, no shit.
So
Love enough too.
yeah. Anyways, we went to Vegas. We just had an incredible experience in those 3 months, and then he went back. We did another release. Man, money's never been the issue. It's like we just put in our all into this one thing. As far as whenever we're working together, you know, and we'll just split it when you know the money comes.
Yeah,
Whenever it comes, we'll split it evenly because we know what work we put in. We know what we gave, because we work so closely and we work so you know, genuinely with each other, and we're honest, and we make sure the communication is there. And when the time comes to make sure, you know, we get ours, it'll work itself out, you know, and we trust in each other. And through that, we've been able to make some incredible music, incredible relationships, work with incredible people, go to incredible studios, and that's really what it's about, you know. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say we've made incredible like big amounts of money, but
the audience is definitely growing.
Yeah, people care. The music is good, and we can say we've had these experiences, and we keep going. We're gonna have more experiences to come, and that's, to me, that's all that matters, and I could be okay with that.
I think my number one takeaway is pretty much that, kind of it's almost like streaming has definitely changed the game. But when you realize that, like, how much it's changed the game, it's almost like music has become your advertising now as opposed to your actual product.
Yeah,
so unless you're willing to put the work in on the front end to make sure that the music gets made, how can you expect to make any money?
Yeah, totally.
So that was something that I looked at just kind of as a studio owner, and I was just like, man, if you're ever going to be able to make, it's more about, it's not just about quality, but it's also about volume.
Right.
So you need to put out volume, but you also need to put out quality. And the only way I feel like you're going to be able to do both of those things is to find people that you believe in and give everything you have to them, and make sure that, you know, you're not, you know,
That's
you're not,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I pretty much finished my thought. I was just about to start rambling incoherently. Thank you.
Well, that's literally what the streaming game is, right? It is all about volume.
Yeah.
It's got to be good, obviously, but like for artists, like, it's actually amazing that you guys have taken that approach with what you're doing, because it really does give the artists an actual competitive edge now. But it's like, in order to compete in the streaming game, it is really like every 12 months you need to be putting out like a new album, and between that you need to be releasing singles at least. You know, if you're not doing an album, you need to be putting out singles like every couple months at least.
Once every 1 to 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the good thing is we live. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off,
Yeah.
but the good thing is we live in a time where it's relatively easy to do that. You know, as long as you own the gear and you have the means of doing it, like, it doesn't cost anything to make what you want to make.
Just gotta keep your lights on.
Yeah,
You just gotta
exactly.
find a way to keep your lights on, and be able to, live, but at the same time, like, it doesn't cost that much to actually make what you want to make. So it's very possible to release an album, release a couple singles, maybe release a whole live, project where it's 8 tracks of you doing something live. Maybe you can hit up a few artists and have them remix your stuff, and you can throw that. We live in a
Totally.
time where you can. That volume is very, very possible, and it's really just about taking advantage. We need to understand that the industry is completely different than it was 20 years ago.
Completely, man.
And that it's still ever changing. Like,
Yeah, man.
It's going to change faster and faster, and it's easy to get disheartened if you're in our field. And I'm not going to sit here and say that there haven't been times where I have been disheartened, but it's really just about, like, it's still possible to do what we do and make a living, because there are people that do it. So how can we figure that out, and being proactive in figuring that out,
Yeah, totally.
you can't just wait around and expect for it to be given to you.
Well, you guys have a good mindset as far as, again, like, helping artists out with doing that, because if you can, I don't know, whatever you guys figure out in the back end of it, but, like, you gotta, like, it gives the up and coming artists, again, like, this competitive edge, because it's impossible for us to be able to compete with the bigger artists who can release music at that kind of
Breakneck
at
speed.
that volume.
And just know that their label has got they paid for the recording.
It's all already
and
paid
they paid for the placement.
How do
everything
you
is right there.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you fail at that?
How as an upcoming artist do you compete with that? Well, it really does take studios, engineers, and producers to actually take that step and be like, hey guys, like, if we really believe in what you're doing, we can actually help you along with this process. Obviously you got to keep your lights on, so the artists have to understand there has to be something worked out in the back end where you guys can make your nut at the end of the day, right?
definitely.
But it really does take that kind of vision from the studios now to take that leap,
But how does that work out for the studios? I mean, like, you're obviously, like, you're the one who's recording everything, but how's your name attached to it? How do people know that you did it?
Studios get credit on
I mean,
all
they
I didn't
definitely
say that they don't get credit, but I mean, like, it's your name's not on the Spotify list for these artists.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I
he
mean?
definitely makes sure to credit me when it comes time to let you know who mixed the record, where the record was recorded.
Not to mention
And-
royalties and all that stuff. It can be worked out.
never know
You
what
get
got
writing
going on in
credits.
the back end as far as maybe it's a pub split. It could be some. It's a number of different things. So
And you also got to be proactive yourself, because one thing we'll do is, and it's something we're kind of working on right now, is we have a video coming out that we're going to put on YouTube of us doing a stem master through one of his pieces of gear on a song that's Jonas, right? So on Clickbait, we have a video coming out that's going to highlight a certain piece of gear. Now, the video subject is that piece of gear, but now we're attaching our name to that song.
it's like
through
multi-level
that video,
marketing.
Yeah.
But, like, you just got to be more proactive, because it's easier to be more proactive. You just got to, there's so many ways through through media now that you just have to do it.
And that
You got to showcase it on YouTube. You got to showcase it on TikTok nowadays.
TikTok,
you got to
Instagram. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where it's at, man. And it's good that you say that, because it really is, like, Billy and I get have this conversation all the time, where it's really about finding the creativity outside of the music itself, right? It's like nowadays, with the way social media works and the way brand partnerships work, it's really amazing how creative you can get to get the music heard.
Definitely.
So if you can find the creative side of the marketing and the business, it actually becomes equally as entertaining as the music does, because it's that creative, right? And it's important that people think of it that way. Otherwise, if you just think about, I hate the business side of it, it's like, well, then you're just not thinking about it creatively.
You can't just ignore it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't.
It's like, because it's like that with everything, man. Like, if you want to, especially in this country, like, we live in America, like, you got to find a way to incorporate business and making money in anything you do. So, like, you just got to be okay with that.
And
about
have
balance.
fun. Yeah, and have fun with it. I mean, get creative with it. Creativity is fun. Business
Yeah.
can be fun if it's creative.
Because people don't mind spending money on something if they feel like they can maybe express themselves through it, or they can be part of a community through it. If you just have a T-shirt and the design is kind of whatever, you're just making a T-shirt just to make it because you feel like you have to. you know, you might sell one or two here and there, but if you really go all out in making a t-shirt that somebody would want to wear, and if they saw somebody else wearing that t-shirt,
They'd buy that
other
shit.
people would notice, first of all, and they can also feel like they could be part of a community, you know. And that's important, you know. Like I said, it always circles back to being genuine, man. Like, you got to be genuine with
I like
what
how you
you're
said
doing.
being a part of a community. That's kind of like the whole thing with Side Hustle, which is our band, and we're like the end goal is really to create like the culture within the music. You know, it's like, and part of that is, you know, is putting out merchandise that people want to buy, and creative merchandise too. Things that like other bands might not be doing, that gets people, that get people to buy in to your vision a little bit more. Putting out good music, you know, doing it in the way that allows you to, you know, stay relevant and competitive. And I think that's all, you know, like it's refreshing to hear you guys say all these things, because in cities like where we're at right now, it gets so put on the sidelines, like this whole mentality of, you know, of the bigger vision. Because it's not, you don't see the success of that here, you know.
Right.
So people don't know that that's like a reality for them if they do it that way, you know.
Right. And the thing is, man, like, we all kind of fall into this trap because of social media and because we're exposed to the entire world, essentially, you know, that if you're putting out a song, everybody needs to like it.
Right.
It needs to blow up. You got to get, you know, millions and millions of plays. Like, that's not necessarily the case. I mean, you just need to find those people that really connect with it.
Yeah.
And now you have a platform to put it in front of millions and millions of people potentially. But all that really matters is that there's enough people that connect with it so that you can actually turn them into people that are part of your community that you build.
Yeah.
And through that community, then you can now start building some kind of, you know, income through, first and foremost, building the community and building and laying the foundation for that community and building that camaraderie and just that feeling that you're a part of something.
Yeah.
Because that's all that really matters, man. Like, a big artist for me is Anderson .Paak, right?
I love him, man.
And I've been following him since like 2011 when I was back in high school. He was under a completely different name, Breezy Lovejoy, you know, and like,
Who? What was his name?
Breezy Lovejoy.
yeah.
Okay.
And like,
Jinx.
That name sounds really familiar.
Yeah, I
actually,
know.
Breezy Lovejoy.
yeah, he did stuff with like the battle rapper Dumbfounded, like a lot of YouTube stuff.
Okay.
But the thing is, for me, what made me really enjoy his music is the fact that it was so different from what was coming out,
Yeah.
but still cool, still hip.
Definitely, and still relatable. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
still
James
relatable.
Brown meets Andre 3000.
Yeah, like it's
Yes,
it's
man, I
so
was just gonna
it's
say
so
that,
dope.
actually.
And what made me so passionate for him as an artist was the fact that he always stayed true to that.
Yeah.
You know, and I was okay with spending a couple bucks, you know, buying. So he came out recently. He came out with a vinyl version of his album Ventura, completely instrumental version.
Really?
Yeah, it was like $30 for the pre-order, right? And I couldn't have spent that $30 fast enough. Like, I took out my car.
Yeah, he did it. I think he was at my house in
Yeah.
a session, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
stopped
yeah.
to buy it.
Dude, I saw it on Instagram. I was like, yo, we stopped, and I had to buy that shit. I had to find my wallet, paid for it, bought it. Eventually, it came in the mail. But like,
I'm still
it was
jealous.
the fact that he, you know, that I was able to relate to his music and relate to his journey. You know,
Yeah.
like he had a little mini series. I forget what the YouTube channel that put it out. But he had a little mini series that kind of brought you into the studio with him and showed his journey. You know, I saw his whole name change, you know, and the progression of each album he came out with, how the music changed and what he was trying to say and what feelings he was trying to get across. Like, that stuff really, you know, I'm getting kind of chills just talking about it, because like, to me, that stuff, even though it seems simple, like it's just music and it's just, you know, a song,
But
to me it's not. You know, to me it's something that like might help me, you know, when I'm having a bad day, can actually help me get through the day, because I'm listening to it and I'm getting my mind off the bullshit, you know.
it might be something that excited me to actually pursue something that I can feel happy about when I look back on it, you know.
And you see the realness of his grind,
Right.
And it kind of makes you realize like, oh, that's what we all got to go
Yeah.
through, you know.
And he didn't blow up till he was 30,
And
you know,
he was
like
a
30.
drummer playing for other people. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a studio musician and a touring musician, and then I'm sorry, I don't mean to say I that's just kind of a habit
I
of
would
me
love to
saying,
be a
but
touring musician.
yeah, like that was great,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like
It wasn't
what
his
he
dream.
could become, you know.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see, you know, he has an album coming out soon with Bruno Mars now,
Yeah.
you know, like to see
If they
that
don't
whole
put that,
progression.
if they don't,
don't ever
if,
limit
if
yourself.
they don't fucking put that goddamn album out already, I swear
I-
to God, bro.
I know,
Are you
dude.
serious? Like,
Like,
that,
they really held that door open.
Yeah, really, bro. I'm saying it's like
That's pretty good.
This guy is the dad joke god.
Hey, man, I got a son on the way, so, like, I'm
Dude,
going to embarrass the shit out
his
of him.
Oh, you
dad
do?
joke
Yeah.
skill,
Congratulations, man.
like
man.
this thing.
Appreciate it.
This is the thing. I like. I've heard the best of it and I've heard the worst of it.
I don't
you
hold
know,
any of it
like,
back, man.
He
I don't-
just swings for the fences. He strikes
you
out
gotta
sometimes.
shoot your
but he
shot,
hits
bro.
I strike
goddamn
out
home
a lot.
run.
Yeah.
Dude, sometimes we take a whole 10 minutes to just sit down and appreciate what kind of dad joke just came out of his mouth.
Have you seen those
on the fly, dude?
Have you seen those TikTok videos of those guys that do the dad jokes or whatever?
yeah.
You just do like a series with Jared, bro.
But
I'm just going to get on that and just totally bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll probably bomb a couple times. That's when you gotta
definitely.
do it though.
But you know, going back to what we were saying, like what's important is that journey. What's important is the fact that you're doing it because, like, that's all you want to do. You know, that's all you're doing it because you are compelled to do it. You know, and that's one thing I try to get across to artists, especially in the beginning, is like, don't worry about the numbers. Like, let's just create. Put it
Detach
out
from the result
you
a
gotta,
little bit.
Yeah, like don't worry about the numbers. Like you are gonna worry about the numbers. Like you can't, but you at least gotta have that ear just reminding you. You know,
Yeah.
because you know when it comes down to it, what all that really matters is the fact that you're making the music in the first place. And circling back to sports, like one thing my dad always instilled is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter like what level you play at or whatever. Like what matters when you love the sport, what matters is you're playing. It matters that you're on the court, you're on the field, whatever, you're just playing the sport.
Giving it everything you got.
Yeah, that's all that really matters, and I've taken that to everything I do, and you know, including music. Like all that matters is that, hey, dude, we're sitting here, we're well fed, we're alive, and we're enjoying ourselves in the studio. You know, whatever comes out of that.
And also just kind of seeing, like, the joy it brings other people. Like,
Right.
something special about helping an artist, you know, see their vision come to light exactly, you know, maybe even better than what they had envisioned, or
Yeah.
something totally different, and just kind of seeing it touch a lot of people's lives, not just the artist, but, you know, I never expected to, you know, have, you know, one or two songs just completely, I feel like, change the way a lot of people, you know, look at what it is, you know, that you're doing. Like, that's why I think the main value of just being in the moment, and whatever it is that you're doing at that given time, you just make sure that you're always giving it 100% of your focus and effort, because you never know what that's going to turn into.
That's right. That's why when Billy gets all antsy about the budget when we're in the studio and I'm taking 5 hours on a guitar solo.
You gotta have somebody reeling you back just a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Somebody with a fucking level head be like, "Hey, bud, the fucking meter's ticking, and we are in the
that shit.
red."
That shit
Yeah, yeah.
goes. That shit goes way. Like, I'm
He
the
doesn't
one
give a fuck.
that has all
reason
the
there's no fucking
login
clocks
stuff
in a
to the bank
studio.
account. I'm the one that handles all the budgeting. Billy doesn't even know what's in the bank account half the time. And then we're in the studio, and I'm the one that's not worried about it. I'm the one that's in there like 12 hours, 14 hours, doesn't fucking matter. If we're in it, we're fucking in it. Billy's like, bud, it's
We got to make the most out of this
bro.
12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got 2 more songs to cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, and that's important. That's why also we're so willing to work as a team, because you need that. There's been times in the studio where
Especially if you're a perfectionist, man. Like,
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing in the fucking world. With perfectionists. I'm not trying to say like, obviously make the best thing that you can
Yeah,
make,
no,
but for
yeah.
fuck's sakes, like you're shaving off like the tiniest little fucking things. This isn't
if
Michelangelo
it's the difference
making
between
the-
like
Yeah.
or no. Like it doesn't matter. Like let's move on. But like
No,
it
you're
does.
not- you're
it
not
does
gonna-
kinda
To
matter.
me,
That-
that shit
that's
matters. That's
like-
the kind of shit that I get. I
That's
will
throwing seeds on
I
the
will-
rocks over there.
I
He's
will-
not gonna fucking listen
I
to
will
that
fucking
one.
have. I will not sleep for the rest of my life
Yeah.
over that little fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know what? I have
what I
a
mean?
theory though. I have a really good theory. Like after this album that you really put it all in, the next one that you're gonna do, you're gonna be a little bit more relaxed, and it's just gonna keep on going more and more downhill.
Until the albums are just
Not
like
the quality of the music, but your inability to let go and be like, it's not perfect yet. We have to change it. We have to change it. We have to change it.
Wow.
I have a really good feeling that's what's gonna happen.
Maybe.
it could be just like a like two different like extremes. You could be super uptight right now about getting it perfect, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
maybe a few albums down the line or a few tracks down the line, you're like, man, fuck, I don't give a shit, man.
It's gonna
Like,
be the
release
fucking
it. It's
Aviator over
imperfect.
here
That's
and
what makes
start
it perfect.
peeing
I-
But
the
maybe
fucking
it was
song.
a little more emotion or character comes out of it in the
Yeah.
end. So
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely a little bit more lax on this one than I was in the first one.
I disagree.
Can I take a time real quick?
Yeah, whatever you want.
May I use
Oh.
the
Yeah,
breath?
yeah.
Go,
It's
yeah. Well,
fir-
we
first
keep we
one on
keep
the
it
right.
rolling, bro. So do your thing. We keep this whole
Especially when we
thing
got
going.
two guests, we could just hone in on that. But I will say, I disagree with you. You were way more.
You think so?
What's the word? Perfectionisty, if that's a word.
Well,
On the second one than you were on the first one.
well, we had 7 songs. There were none of them under 6.5 minutes long, and the longest one at 9.5 minutes long. So yeah, there was a little bit of perfectionism
Yeah.
going into that. But no, I'm actually curious. So. The video that you guys at least a commercial, not commercial, but like
yeah, the IGTV video I just put out.
that was great with Miles. Yeah,
Yeah, man, Miles is. I think he's definitely one of the.
He's a
like,
genius.
He's a genius, man. One of the best video editors.
Who you talking
Shoot
about?
like
Miles, who did the
as far
greenhouse
as camera
video.
work, man. He
Yeah,
kills
sorry.
it. Not only that, but like he's just smart on so many different levels. He's one of the few people I can go hang out with and be like, dude, you are making me feel stupid right now.
Yeah.
Like it's very rare that I come across a person that I can feel like is on not only my level but like
above.
at least in certain areas, like I'm sure I could talk about recording all day and like make someone else's head swim, but like I don't know, man, the dude's over there going crazy with his 3D printer and I'm like, dude, this is freaking nuts. Like I just love to see people that like are doing some kind of art, but also
Yeah, man.
they have another passion outside of their art that or it could be another art form, but it's it's different than what they're making their bread doing.
Totally, man. That's why I discovered last year, or almost 2 years ago now, I discovered Muay Thai.
Yeah,
Which
he's
has
been doing. I need a hobby.
It's just
though.
been
You
my
do any jiu-jitsu too?
no. That'll be my next hill to climb. I really want to. I fell in love with this sport, and I really want to like get good at it. But for me, it's really just like I just love the physical movement. I love the workout. I do some sparring here and there, but mostly it's just like I just really want to do the workout.
Gotcha.
But I'm curious, going back to the video, what do you guys? Is this like the multi-marketing thing that you guys are talking about?
Yeah, just kind of wanted to like show people a little bit about my process, and that obviously at the end of the day, you got to make some money doing what it is you love, but you
Sure.
also have to believe in the people that you're working with, and if you put forth the effort to make sure that when you agree to work with someone, you share in their vision. I just think that makes all the difference in the world, because I found myself, over the years, back kind of touching on where you say yes to everything. When I first started recording, anybody who wanted to get in the studio with me, hell yeah, let's make it happen. Anything that you could do to make that happen, I can only think of some of the experiences I've been through, but over time, I've learned, just what not to do. I mean, I can think of, I'm trying to think of, I don't want to say.
You don't have to say
I don't
names
wanna-
if you don't want to. It's juicier if you do, but you
It's
don't have
definitely
to.
juicier if you do, but like, but when I think about it, like, I wouldn't be the person or the engineer I am today if I hadn't gone through those experiences. So in some ways, I need to tell those people thank you, because I wouldn't be able to.
We got it. We're good.
You could have just.
And I
asked.
wouldn't also be able to, sit here or think about a time where, maybe it's a back end, we're investing time on the front end, but I'm still thinking like, man, this is better than what I used to go through. Like, I could be sitting here working all day for $50, and I've still got 3 more weeks of work left to do on this project, and all I'm hoping to gain out of it is a couple more clients to know I am worth spending money on to
Those
record
exposure
professionally.
bucks, bro.
Exposure, you guys
Yeah.
know all about it, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure the venues and the bar owners and the restaurants, they're like, oh, it's great exposure.
It's great exposure.
You're like, that's what pays my rent.
No one's come at me with that one in a long time. But
yeah, I stopped doing exposure gigs right around 27 or 25, somewhere around there.
I'll still do exposure gigs if it's the right scenario.
Yeah, if it's the right scenario.
There's a time and place to do something for free if you feel like it's gonna put you into a market it's good for you, but
or if it's for some kind of charity, we do those.
Yeah, charity
often.
or a personal favor for someone who's done a lot for you, but
yeah.
Otherwise, man, you need to be getting paid.
So I'm curious, what's this multi-marketing thing that you guys are doing? Can you give us some insight into what the strategy is?
Like he was talking about, we're trying to we're making a video right now about the SSL X Desk. So we mixed down this project. And really, we just kind of submix and printed our stems through it. And we want to show, not only are we promoting the music, but also there's a chance to earn money from, just making videos about the products that you're using, because those companies, they need marketing as well.
Totally.
And if you do a good job of what you're doing, then there may be something that comes back. Maybe you get an endorsement. Maybe your YouTube channel just takes off, and maybe that's how you become known. It's not really about like I said, detach yourself from the result. Don't think if I don't make it because it's about this song, being a YouTube star doesn't seem as cool. But last time I checked, Logan Paul and Jake Paul are freaking raking in the millions right now because they were a YouTube star.
I have a bit of a gripe with the YouTube thing, only in the sense where if you're chasing being a YouTube star, and you're sacrificing the integrity
of what you're doing, 100%.
And that's bullshit. And I
Absolutely.
have friends who do that I'm not on board with. However, if you can do it while maintaining your integrity, that's what we're trying to do too with this and with the band as well.
It's just about casting a wide net.
But to your point about the cross promo stuff, so doing those. So I have a friend that does really well on YouTube. He does a lot of reviews on different softwares and plugins and all kinds of. He's making a killing actually on it. Linking in the description all these companies,
affiliate marketing.
It's insane how well that works actually. So just to give you an example, on a video that I posted, I used a guitar. All the videos and collaborations that I release, I link all of the companies, all the software, whatever I use, I link it all in the YouTube description. So I linked the guitar company that for an acoustic guitar, but I labeled the guitar incorrectly, right? Later, a couple days later, I go on Google, I type in the model guitar to see what the value is, right? And the first thing that pops up is my YouTube link.
Wow.
I was like, because I labeled it incorrectly, it's literally the only thing on the internet that's labeled with that thing, right?
And it's popping up for it.
It's popping up for it. I was like, that's fucking
the power
insane
of the internet.
how well that works.
And what's interesting is the specific video we're working on, obviously it matters that the quality is nice and you want to be able to present it well, but like you said, there aren't too many videos on YouTube, for example, that highlight the X Desk.
They're real world examples of it.
There aren't too many people that are going to be YouTubing or Googling X Desk.
What's X Desk?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say
it's
too.
essentially like the same guts that are inside of a large format SSL console.
Okay.
But it doesn't have the preamps. It doesn't have the gates, compressors, or anything like that. But it's really just a line mixer with a center section. It's got monitor outputs. You could use it as a monitor controller. I personally use the Dangerous because I need a few more speaker outputs. But it allows you to have an analog mix down. Now your channel count may be somewhat limited because you're kind of limited to 16 channels that you can print through there. But that's still, it's a pretty, if you can get 16 channels going through there.
Billy needs you to dumb it down even more.
I kind of knew
so
we were gonna have two sound guys, not sound guys. I'm sorry, recording producers just coming in here.
So
and it's gonna be like this, and I'm like, fucking, you did not just dumb it down for me.
Sorry.
So the big,
close.
SSL
what's
consoles,
an SSL?
Solid state logic. It's those big things you see in the
when you go into a
expensive
huge
studios.
recording studio and you see a
big
big mixer, just a big mixer.
All the faders.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
All the faders.
Imagine that hardware, but condensed down without any of the effects or anything, into a little thing that could fit on your desk. That's about as big
maybe
as maybe 3 of those mixers you got right there,
Yeah.
right? But
Right.
the thing is, you can send your stems through there. Let's say you get a track.
What's a stem for those who don't know?
So stem.
Okay, well, I know what
We know what stems are, but
Let's say you
most
got
people
somebody
don't.
playing guitar, like that line of that whole track that is in the song of that guitar
Yeah.
is when you break it down in a project is gonna be, it's gonna be its own instrument, right?
You have
So
your drum
that
stems, your
instrument,
keys.
Right.
when you
Your
when you
vocals.
when you then you export that sound, that audio file out, we call that a stem.
Yeah.
Right. So
Just basically the groupings, like how do you group your track together? Like maybe you have all your keys and your synths together. Maybe you have all your guitars together. You have your bass, and then all your percussion instruments.
So you
Right.
export all those elements of the track into the X desk. You get the sound that X desk gives you when you run sound through it.
You get a little bit of glue, you know.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
And
a
then
little bit
you
of
send it back
saturation,
out
some
from the
distortion.
X desk
Yeah.
into your DAW, your
master
whatever,
print.
your either Pro Tools or Logic. You send it back into that, and now it has like you said, a glue. It has taken all those elements, and it is now sent it back to you with a different quality that you can now use.
It's
to
all got
kinda,
kind of a similar uniform characteristic to
yeah.
it. So like
Is it a
maybe we
mastering
condense down. Well, like
process?
you could also master through it, but like
It's like a blend of mixing and mastering.
this
You mix
song-
it, and then you send the stems. You send these groupings together into there. You send them back, and then you master that.
So like you retain, so then
Okay.
you have stereo prints, but so like you can save your session, you maintain the flexibility of working in a DAW. Like I personally like mastering the digital process of mastering. I feel like it's a little bit cleaner now. You can maybe pump a little more volume before you get to
Yeah.
distortion. Now in the analog world, you reach distortion, it's it's there. You're just gonna smear your transients, but you can squeeze a little bit more.
He's like, he said smear transients. Like
I mean, tape machines smear your transients too, but that's a better. I like that smear better.
transients are when there's like a significant
drum hit, like a
change
spike.
change in the sound.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, yeah.
Like something way louder.
You do
or way
realize
quieter.
it's like you're trying to explain the entire like textbook guideline of Dungeons and Dragons to me in one sentence.
No, I
I'm
think
just
you guys
trying
are
to
doing a
say-
great
Hey,
job.
I do love Lord of the Rings. So
Yeah,
we
I
can,
do.
we
I
can
love
nerd
Lord of
out.
the Rings too. All I'm trying to say is this is like without a doubt, the smartest fucking people that are in the music business are the ones that are in the fucking studio because it's just like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about,
Dude, and
Engineer shit
I'm
posting
not a
is
big-
the best.
That's what I meant to say. Sound
not-
engineer. I couldn't
yeah.
think of the word earlier.
I'm not
Sorry.
I'm not a big gearhead. Definitely not as much as Jared. Jared's the biggest gearhead I've ever seen, and his
I'm slightly embarrassed
gear
by how much of a
lust-
gearhead I
his
am. Like,
gear lust is
That's a great band.
it
name.
should be one of the it should be included in the said 7 deadly sins because this
really should.
like to give you an example, he got the X desk, right?
Yeah, when
And he
we
got
all
the-
know what that does now.
He bought the
Glues
X
sound
desk
together.
I mean,
Glues
you can
the
do a
sound
full.
together.
He bought the
into
X desk.
stems. We know.
You can do a full mix down from it, but like I said, I prefer the process
Well, wait.
of doing your master after you print your
All right.
You just want some continuity. I
I
can talk
listen.
forever.
I have
He's
fucking
bought
no
the X
idea what
desk,
we're talking
and he's
about.
like, you know what? To really maximize all my gear and all the outboard gear I have, I need to get a patch bay. Buys a patch bay, and he's like, you know what? To really maximize this patch bay, I need to get this audio interface, and I need to get a couple more things and all these cables. And he's like, you know what? I think I could use some new speakers. So he buys these Focal Solos, which are some really nice high-end studio monitors.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know what? I could use a whole nother patch bay. So he buys a second patch bay along with its own set of cables.
I'm gonna buy another X deck, so I'm gonna run it all through that
Dude,
again.
and then
I already want a bigger console.
he gets the solos and he's like, you know what? I think I want the twins, which is just the solos but double. And so now in his studio, in his home studio, in his crib, he's got 2 Focal Solo monitors. Right next to it, he's got 2 Focal, 2 twins, then 2 solos, and then 2 mixing cubes.
Avotone
a whole
mix cubes.
Focal subwoofer, 2 patch bays,
channels
an
in
X
Eve
desk,
1073.
and then all kinds of outboard compressors and equalizers and all kinds of things. Just and it's just.
But I don't want to
incredible.
overstate like the importance of that. Like that's
Yeah.
Like obviously I love it. He's talking about my gear lust, but
Yeah.
I could do my job with a laptop and an interface and
Yeah.
some plugins
Yeah.
if I had to. Now,
But he does-
I just like to make really great,
Yeah.
interesting sounds and print them on the way in, and I also like to process them on the way out
And,
too.
and,
You like to
and the
party.
thing
You're a
is,
party
my-
guy.
I guess my point is, it
I'm
circles
Rod,
back.
and I like to party.
It circles back to doing things genuinely because he didn't worry about how much it costs or anything. Like,
Right.
he just had an opportunity, and he did it because he wanted to do it. You know, and it's something I admire about Jared is because because of all that. Now our sound is very unique. You're not gonna find a combination of gear anywhere really like Jared's studio, especially in this region. You know, and
I
because
saw
of
what they
that-
were doing in LA, or not in LA, Las Vegas, but also LA, Atlanta, New York, and I was just like, man, I want to bring that to the people of Jackson. I
is-
was like, I could be sitting here chilling, trying to live debt free, you know what I'm saying, living a much more comfortable life, but I was like, I want to be able to bring that experience that, you know, I feel like the talented musicians of Jacksonville, not just Jacksonville, but, you know, the whole region in general deserve. And so
You couldn't have taken more exact words out of my mouth. Actually, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, so I want to get back to the to that stuff in a second. But you guys have worked with artists, and I'm sure at some point you've taken on the producer role, and then also you've taken on the just the engineer role. So at what point do you? What's the difference for those who don't know? And then at what point do you decide where you have to take that extra step? You know, what's the boundary for you, basically?
It really kind of it's funny because sometimes you're working for people, you're engineering on their records. You may start producing the records. There's a big difference because hip hop is a different world, man.
Yeah, totally.
Like hip hop production a lot of times is strictly beat making. There's also vocal producers.
Would you say that you're writing the song in hip hop?
Sometimes in hip hop,
If you're a
sometimes
producer?
yeah, because you're usually making the instrumental in hip hop. So if you're
Yeah.
making the instrumental, that's at least 50% of the work right there.
Oh, okay.
Without a doubt.
So-
Well, writing, I wouldn't say writing because I don't. For example, we're working with Jonah. I don't write any of his music. He writes it.
He writes
And
his
he
lyrics,
does
his melodies.
Because he does it first, right?
Right.
Well, I mean,
and then
sometimes
I just
we send
tag
him-
along.
We send him
Yeah.
the sometimes we send this dude an instrumental. 2 hours later, he has sent us back an immaculate demo, and we are like, dude, you are insane.
It's
Like,
like
it
confirmation
blow-
of why we're doing this.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's just so natural. But yeah, we don't write. I guess you could say as a producer, you do compose to some degree. But
We had like a 5-hour conversation.
Yeah,
about this
about
yesterday.
all this.
It
Producer
could be
versus
just
songwriting.
suggesting. It could be like
Yeah.
there's a very fine line, and that's why, like, you know, you want to clearly communicate about what it is,
What your role's
you know,
gonna
what
be.
is your role, like,
Right.
because you know some people will bring you into a studio, they'll, you know, and then at some point in time, you know, those lines become blurred. And
Yeah.
it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but you want to make sure that you're being forefront on your communication so that when you reach that point in time, everybody knows what their role is. Like sometimes you have to produce on records that you're strictly engineering strictly because you care about the end product, and you're like, yo, this is coming out of my studio. I can't let this, even though this may not be my premiere release that I'm like pushing to everyone I work with. You never know who's going to hear what record, and you never know what's going to pop off. Like, for instance, SoundCloud rap. You know what I'm saying? Like those songs, sometimes songs blow up, and I hate to take away like the sonic quality of some of those songs, but you just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because really, it doesn't necessarily come down to how well a song is mixed or anything like that. Stuff does matter,
it
but
just has to be presentable.
it always matters how things are. How much people connect with it. It always circles back to that. How do people connect with it? Now, luckily, we've been in a situation, especially working with Jonah, or just working together, where we're very like-minded in the creative decisions that gets made. Now, that's not to say we don't disagree on things and disagree on the process of how to get things done, but we always end up coming back and finding a way to get it done and find that common ground. Now we're very fortunate to where we're in a situation like that, and you know, working with Jonah, for example, he's very
he knows what he does and he knows what he contributes. Jared knows what he does and what he contributes. I know what I do and what I contribute. And luckily, whenever we make a creative decision, the other two are, you know, we're usually like, you know what, yeah, that makes sense. Now, if it doesn't, then we're always there to voice our opinion, but that we don't necessarily have to compromise, which is nice because we all kind of agree with the direction it should go.
Yeah, generally we always agree, but I mean, we don't always agree.
We don't always,
but that's okay.
What's important is the
totally.
people you work with. It has to be natural. If you're working with somebody and it's not natural, and you creating the music just it's not fun, or you're with an engineer and the engineer you and the engineer just don't really click, and you're just kind of going through the motions, like you're doing it wrong. Like
Counting
you need to be
hours.
working with people where it just is natural and it's fun and
Feels
you
like
don't-
you're just hanging out with a
yeah,
friend.
you're not
I
worried about
can't-
any money or anything.
I can't stress enough the importance of the artist-engineer relationship. And this could be an engineer that's not taking on a producer role. This could be just a person pushing the buttons back there, right? But, like, if that person is making you as an artist feel uncomfortable
Yeah.
or is not understanding what you're saying, or the communication is just not there.
Or is not willing to understand where you're coming from, because
Yeah, exactly. Like that could really ruin it will ruin the creative process.
Yeah.
It just does.
It does.
It's the word. I've worked with several engineers over the years where I just like didn't vibe, man. It's like you know, either they're getting frustrated with my process or impatient, or they don't respect me as an artist, so they feel like they just know better than I
Yeah.
do. And that creates a lot of, you know, whatever, which is why for a long time we were driving 5 hours, because there's an engineer that I really connected with when I was still living in South Florida that we just decided to do the last 2 records with, just because I connect. That's how important they are, though.
Yeah.
It's you don't just shoot in the dark on that shit.
He's like the
you
most
know?
patient person on the planet.
Definitely.
Jay is
Patience and I don't.
I've had to learn that, man. I used to not be so patient.
Jason today we had Dogmatic Studios, man. That is our fucking homie
We miss
right there.
you. I miss
and by
annoying
far,
you every day.
the 5th member of Side Hustle when we're
Yeah.
in that studio, man. He is like the most.
We have the same rug. I've seen it online. It's a very nice red rug.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Bro, I love the vibe there. You know, we probably won't go back to do another one just because it's so far away. But you know, but that dude is literally like the 5th member of our band, and we love that guy. He's the most patient human being on the planet. I can tell you
Yeah.
that.
And that's the thing, man. The fact that you love to work with them, when you do work with them, the things you create are just incredible. And
Yeah.
you're so happy with it, and you'll go back and you'll listen to it all the time, and that's what's important, man. Like
I
you
probably won't
gotta-
listen to this album ever again, to be honest with you. It hasn't even
That's
been
what
released
it,
yet.
What it
But
felt like making
Yeah, I know
music.
what
I
you're
know
saying.
the feeling when
Yeah.
you're getting close to release date on a project you've heard a million times.
I'm over it.
you think you're over it, and then you listen to it like a month later when you don't need to be so critical anymore. Because that's the thing, like I listen to songs over and over while I'm making them and while I'm perfecting them. You just listen to over and over. And yes, there's that period where you just say, I'm never listening to this song ever again.
Yeah.
And we've even joked about that. Like
Start making up
we'll-
song lyrics.
We'll finish a mix, we'll finish a master, we'll send it back to the artist, and we'll be like, I'm never listening to that song ever again. Like we'll say
It's
that
true.
to each other and we'll laugh and whatever. But then here we are 2 months later, and we're like listening back
maybe
on
release
it,
date
and now
finally
we have a
comes
different
around.
we have a different frame of reference, because now we can just sit back and we can just listen to it.
And hear all the mistakes that you thought.
yeah,
That you thought you
and
fixed.
you
Yeah.
can grow and you can improve upon it. Obviously, there's actually that is very important. Actually,
I also love
to be
being
able to
see what we
self-reflect.
can improve on, though.
Yeah, that's exciting, because then you can see how you're progressing mentally, but also you do also need that element of like, man, I made this 2 years ago. This is pretty darn good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, 'cause-
like that's so important to have that element of confirmation that you are kind of doing things right. You know, for my senior recital at UNF, like that was a big part, a big idea that I wanted to get across, where, you know, you constantly need that confirmation, no matter what industry you're in, like that you're in the right industry.
Yeah.
You know, like things are going well, even though your bank account or
you know, where you are in the industry may not be where you want to be.
You're on the right path.
Those little steps of confirmation of you know, whether it's a song that gets received very well, or maybe it's a video you do that just looks so cool and you can show people and they're like, whoa, this is a dope video. You know, like those that bit of confirmation along the way is what you need to keep going.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah, man.
And
it's a fuel that keeps you going.
Although you want to stay kind of blind to some degree to like getting caught up in the numbers and getting caught up in all the hype, you also, it's important to kind of be aware of it to where you know what's working and what's not working, and you know how to maximize your talents, you know.
Man, I'm not like for sure. I'm also not the mindset that because you want to get rich doing something, it means that you're gonna dilute the product at the end of the day. Yeah. I would be lying to you if I said that my ultimate goal at some point wasn't to have a lot of fucking money doing this,
right.
But only because that would enable my ability to do this in its most purest
100%
form.
What you love in its purest form.
Because that means that I don't have to watch the clock anymore. That means that I don't have to worry about, you know, who's doing what in what industry. Like I don't have to worry about like getting a day job or you know right. or you know, not being able to provide for my family. Like I'm just able to just the unadulterated attention to my craft, and that's what being rich doing this would allow me to do.
And it's because the money is important.
It is,
but it's not important to where. This is the thing. You do, you know, we're sitting here. This is all about music, and we're here pursuing music or you know, something that's not like going out and getting a construction job or like a banking job or like some kind of corporate job. Like we're here making it to eventually make the money to allow us to do it more, but at the same time it's not about the money. We're making the money because money matters, and money is a thing that you need to do stuff you want.
Yeah.
But the idea is to be able to do what you want.
That's why exactly. It's this weird kind of catch-22.
Have you ever tasted heaven in a glass? Do you pine for the hoppiest brews and palest ales? Do you like food? If so, then Wicked Barley is the oasis that your mouth has been wishing for, walking into the complete barren wasteland that is your life. Wicked Barley is located in Jacksonville, Florida, nestled on the banks of Good Peace Creek. Wicked Barley aims to provide its guests with a wicked experience, offering over 18 house-brewed beers, ciders, and meads on tap. They also have an expansive gastropub-style food menu, including burgers, salads, sandwiches, and more. Whether you are a newcomer or a craft beer connoisseur, there's a little something for everyone at Wicked Barley. Visit them at 4100 Bay Meadows Drive and tell them Bottom of the Bill sent you.
But it's also like I feel like artists in general, people, just everybody in general has other interests, right? So it's like I want to be able to pursue those other interests as well.
Yeah.
You know, like music takes up so much goddamn time. You know what I mean? I can speak to me personally. It takes up like 90% of my life, and that's just like not even the physical work, but just like the mental real estate that you know. So it's like I would love to be able to just take a break and just go on a vacation, not have to worry, like just travel somewhere new and exciting, and not have to worry about music or what I'm going to eat that night. But like I just want, that's why making money doing this thing would be amazing, because it allows me to pursue my craft in the truest form, but then also allows me to do other things that I want to do.
Have that freedom.
Exactly, you're not sacrificing anything, I think is what you're trying to say.
That's what I'm trying to say, Bill. Thank you.
You're not sacrificing your integrity as a person, but you do have to sacrifice a lot. Like you can't. There's a lot of like
you're not sacrificing yourself. That's what I'm
right.
trying to say.
Yeah.
Like you're what you want.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Sacrificing yourself is what I'm trying to say. Like is getting a corporate job and then being able to do this shit on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like But by doing it 100%, obviously you're not gonna make any money for a while. But
you're gonna struggle a little bit.
You'll struggle.
The payoff is gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. But the entire time, you've never sacrificed your time to somebody else. You never sold your time to somebody else.
And to be honest, man, there's no knock on getting a corporate job. Like there's a lane for everybody, but at the same time,
that's just not the lane for the artist. I feel like, you know, that's,
like there's you got to be able to do what you love, man.
And I mean it's easier said than done, obviously, and there's a lot of turmoil and a lot of anxiety that comes with it, you know. But if you could figure it out, man, like that's the ultimate happiness. Like
Totally, man.
we all like to think that we can retire wherever the hell we want on like some kind of ranch, like, you know, just not worrying about money and our kids are good and whatever. You know, we all can hope for that. And if we can do what we love and still achieve that, you know, then we can really be happy when we go, you know, because we're all going to die, you know.
Yeah, I don't know anybody
dark.
who has lived.
Yeah. I don't know anybody that's not died. So I kind of want to go back to what we were talking about earlier, and you guys are talking about like the specific sound that comes out of your studio. So I'm curious, do you feel like what is it about what comes out of the stuff that you guys are working on, regardless of the genre? Do you feel like you have a sound that's kind of stamped on whatever project that you're working on?
I think for me, it just kind of goes back to what I was talking about before with making sure that every artist that comes through my studio, I can identify with them in some way, whether it's their music, whether it's their life, their experiences. There's, you know, there has to be something that kind of touches me personally to where I feel like when I work for this person, you know, I can't shortchange them. Like, I have to give, you know, everything that I have, every bit of, you know, experience that I've had in music, whether it's from playing or engineering. I try to, you know, take that with me. And remember back when I was in a band just dying to get into a studio, like thinking that if I could just make this demo, like our band could get more shows or we could get paid. Like,
You're going to blow up.
Or we're going to blow up.
Yeah.
You know, I just try to always have that mindset and think, you know, even if I'm having a bad day in the studio, like I got to be real. Like I could be doing something that's, you know, a hell of a lot worse than this. Like maybe, you know, maybe it's not fun to sit there and listen to somebody bitch and want to do something over and over again, but that shit's important to them. And so I like to think about what's important to me and just try to give that same level of importance to whatever it is they're doing in that moment.
Sure.
Yep.
What about you, Reed?
Sorry, what was the question again?
So
Next question.
So do you feel like there's do you feel like there's a sound, like a certain sound or like a signature that you stamp on everything that comes out of the work that you do?
Well,
I feel like I didn't answer that question at all now.
Yeah. I mean, no, what you gave me is what producers typically give me.
Yeah,
I mean, I want the artist to feel like they got the best out of this. That's the stamp, is that they got the best product out of this experience.
I mean, the quick answer is obviously, you know, you're gonna leave your sonic signature anywhere, because you as a producer.
That's a great fucking band name.
I stole that from Jared. I'm gonna say he said that.
I'm gonna be honest.
A couple days ago.
I wanted to say that in my video, and then I saw this big engineer from New York drop it in his Instagram caption like 2 weeks before my video came out, and I was like, "You fucking bastard!"
There are no original.
There's nothing original.
But anyways,
I'm writing it down.
So I mean, you know, obviously, you know, as a producer, if you're making beats for somebody, if you're, enhancing or altering the beats of somebody else, or you're working with somebody else's song, or they're putting lyrics over your song, you know, you're gonna have your fingerprints on that song or project. So obviously you're gonna have your own sound as a producer musically, but at the same time, for me, when I'm working with the artist, if I hear that song, the first demo, like the first idea that they want to get across, I try to stay true to those elements that attach me to that song, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily trying to change anything where they send me a track and I'm like, oh, no, we got to remake this whole beat and I got to make it my song now with their lyrics. It's more so like, no, like I'm listening to the song. What am I really enjoying out of this song? Now, how can I take those things and how can I enhance them? How can I make it an actual product where somebody knows they're now listening to an entire composition rather than a demo? So it's more... It's so hard because there's no set rules on anything when it comes to
Every song
music.
is different.
So, like, you really just gotta you got to get down to the essence of what makes that song good in the first place. You got to enhance it. Now, as a producer, musically, you're gonna have your signature. As an engineer, you know, and I've done some mixing and whatnot. You know, obviously, if you have certain gear that you run things through, that's gonna give it a sound. If you got certain plugins, that's gonna give it a sound. You, as an engineer, you have certain frequencies, I guess, that may, you know, certain filterings that you may like, you know, so that on surface level is going to give it its sound. So yes, there is a certain sound we kind of leave when we touch a song, but you know, really it's really about just staying true to the essence of what makes that song great in the first place and why you're working with that artist in the first place. So you know, if you listen to a song from an artist as in its demo state compared to when it's done, they're gonna be pretty darn similar,
eerily similar sometimes. Yeah, and other times but they're crazy also different.
Yeah, but they're also gonna be different. So like, it really depends, man, and you really just gotta. That's why just going out there and putting yourself out there and really just doing as much as you can is so important, because you just gotta find what works and what doesn't, you know. Sure. And you gotta just gotta get an idea of what your sound is and what your mark is, so that you don't really have to think about leaving your mark. You're just kind of applying what you know to whatever situation and then hoping it turns out good.
Yeah, totally.
It's there's so many things you can get caught up in that are important that might lead you to, you know, lose sight of what's important in the first place. For sure. And those are 100% just case by case, and the only way to figure that out fully is to just do it, man. Just work with people, work with different people, make stuff by yourself, work on things that are already made, like just all kinds of stuff, you know. Like I've flipped songs that already exist. I've made things from scratch. I've taken someone's demo and I've made that a song. I've made a beat, and then I've done all that to learn the things that I have learned to be able to apply it to any situation.
Sure, and to find out what it is that you really truly love to do about the whole thing as well. You know, I'm sure.
Because there's no secret, man. There's just you and what you can maximize. You know.
Totally.
And you just got to be okay with what you can do when you give it your all.
Adaptability is key. Totally. I know it's an overused phrase, but
that's so true though, especially in your position where it's literally like when you're brought on. As it's like it is that, man. It's like you have to like teeter that line of being an engineer and a producer all the time, and like knowing when to cross that boundary, especially when it's not set. When you're working with an inexperienced artist who doesn't know what. Yeah, because
the more inexperience they have, the more that kind of creeps up, and I kind of really feel like I didn't fully learn how to do my job until I stopped trying to tell people what to do.
Yeah,
you gotta see what people are going to bring you, and then from there, you're like, okay, there's 1,000 different ways we could go with this, but now because of the experience I have, I know that this is the route we need to take. Or maybe I just need to shut up and let them do it their way, because maybe I do have a better way to do it, but it doesn't mean they're going to get it done faster or better just because that's my way.
And also, and maybe your way might not be better in that moment.
100%, yeah. I've been proven wrong and right a million times.
Sure, yeah, man. I'm curious, when you guys are listening to music, is there stuff that you might be? So this is a two-part question. When you're listening to music, is there stuff that you're listening for, or that you might catch on to that the average listener isn't listening to? And the second part is, are you able to remove yourself from the art form at all and just listen to a song in its purest form like you did when you were a child?
To touch on that one first, that's one of the hardest things that I struggle with now, is being able to remove myself from thinking about what went into making this song. Like, it's so hard for me to just listen to a record for what it is, surface level, enjoy it. I'm thinking, like, was the artist even being serious? Yeah. Was he punching? Oh, that's a bar-by-bar punch. I can tell. Every single bar is a punch. Just the way it was written. I can tell that song was not written when he came in the studio. This was a bar-by-bar punch.
Yeah.
Other times I can think, like, dang, man, like, just the emotion in that. I'm like, was he able to... Was that one
or
full
she,
performance?
Or them, 2021.
Or she, yeah, that's another thing. That's another topic I think we always need to touch on, is, like, underrepresentation of of women in the music industry, because there's a lot of talented people of all genders. That's a whole another topic we could touch on in and of itself. We don't have to touch. We don't have to touch on
rabbit hole after
respect,
rabbit hole after
love
rabbit
to
hole.
everybody.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm gonna say is hatred is not cool in any form. Hatred or bigotry, we don't fuck with it.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. But so yes, when you're involved in the technical side and the creation side of things, you're gonna be able to notice how it was made. And I do it with everything. Like, I do it with movies. I do it with anything creative. I like to just sit back and try to look at it objectively and detach myself from the emotion. But at the same time, you get a good idea of when things are actually made genuinely and made for the art, and when things are just kind of made just to be made.
That's true. That kind of gives you more of appreciation for the real shit.
It's two ways, because I know songs that to me are just basic songs that were just like cash grab that other people can really enjoy. And I'm not saying those songs are bad, but what I'm saying is, me as a producer, it gives me a better appreciation for those songs that aren't necessarily appreciated by the masses, that may be the artist's favorite song. There's been a lot of times where there's a song on an album that I really, really enjoy that isn't the hit, but then I'll listen back on the interview of the artist and they'll say like, yo, that was my favorite song on the album, And you can, as a producer or as an engineer, you get a better sense of what's really that genuine stuff coming from that artist, and what's more of just like the business side of things and more the systematic kind of approach, and my music ADD is about as bad as anybody's. Like, literally the way I listen to music is I'll listen to the first 3 seconds and then I'll skip to the next 30 seconds and then I'll listen to that for about 10 seconds, and if it's not touching me, I'll move on.
You're moving on.
And it's really got to touch me.
You did that earlier today.
Yeah, like I do it over and like, that's just how I listen to music. But when I find that one song that I'm like,
repeat,
that I really just like connect with, it's even more enjoyable, because now I'm like, how did they make this? And now when I'm questioning it, I've learned to sit back and not worry about it now I just take it in and I just enjoy it at a I'm not gonna say a higher level, because people enjoy music
however they enjoy it, but you appreciate it from a different perspective. Yeah. And that's the thing, man. It's like I'm kind of a similar way. I mean, I've done 3 albums on my own now, plus like, countless projects that never went through when I was younger in the studio. So I've done a lot of studio work, and I feel like when I'm listening to music now, it is like through that lens of like, it's always like, okay, what's happening here? What are they doing? What's happening on the production end of it? And I literally get like, when I'm hearing it, I get the vision of them working in the studio. That's the first thing that happens. It's rare, unless I'm listening to a song that has like some nostalgic thing from when I was a child, and even then, it still instantly goes through.
Or you can tell it's cut live, like.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it still instantly goes to that creative, to that. What was the process of making this record? You know what I mean? And it's like, there is something about that kind of takes away some of the magic from it. But then, like what you're saying, when something really hits you,
kill it, dude.
and it goes and it breaks through those barriers that you have up, it means something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's also something to be said sometimes for even songs that may not be serious, or like, I hate to say, even if the song you think it was just a cash grab, the fact that other people find enjoyment out of that, it's kind of cool to think that like, maybe I wasn't being so serious this song, but like, other people are still taking away enjoyment out of it,
and there's some merit to that.
Yeah,
like, so now you can now
have to be serious.
There's
right,
and there's an art form to producing, to writing and producing a song that's supposed to be marketed to the masses. That's a whole different art form in itself. It's that to me is like something that I can appreciate, having been on the production end of it as well. My mind doesn't think like that, so.
Do you know what the best example of that is, though?
What's that?
Every Christmas song that's ever been written.
Yeah, I mean, so some of those arrangements are kind of
what I mean?
complex, yeah.
I'm just saying, like that is the pinnacle of like, we are making this for people to like.
Yeah.
And that it's all, it has nothing to do with me at all.
Yeah.
Nothing is bigger than
You're
that.
right.
Yeah.
But
around Christmas time,
Yeah.
I can't help
Every
but
year.
listen to these fucking Christmas songs that I love. Like you're right. Like Christmas is a prime example of that,
Yeah.
where something is made specifically for this
Consumerism.
person.
Eh.
But going back to the whole like community and the whole like, you feel like you're part of something when you're listening to Christmas music.
Yeah.
As corny as it is, the song could be about a snowflake falling on your nose and you blush. Like it could be that corny and that silly and that innocent. Yet you are invested in that because it is that time of year and it brings everybody together. And you sit down
And apart.
in a situation
And
like
apart,
that,
Had
and you
to be
feel
in a part.
comfortable, and it's like it's important.
I know, but what I was trying to get at is like what you're saying about making things for other people,
Yeah.
without a doubt. There's no like that's the one where without a doubt, like you're not being yourself. The only person who's ever like been himself is probably Paul McCartney with The Wonderful Christmas Time.
Yeah.
And that's
Yep.
about it.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know what's
That's
crazy?
it.
Yeah.
People shit on that song so much, but
It's a good song.
That's a really good song.
fuck with that
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, it's a good tune. I
Fuck
dig
with
it.
that. It was so ahead of his time, bro. I don't care what
Oh,
you
man.
say. I don't care how annoying you think that song is.
You know my
And
favorite.
Donny
That
Hathaway.
song is ahead of his time.
No,
bro.
the best Christmas song of all time
You're right, Donny
is Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music by Outkast.
See, that's a great song, but it's not really a Christmas song.
Or wait, was it that one? Yeah, that was the one. That is a Christmas
I don't know,
song.
man. I think
It is
Jared's, I think Jared's right with
That's-
Donny Hathaway
This Christmas.
bro. You
Yeah.
telling me they gotta? You know a song is good when you can have a count in 7 and still be somehow a pop song.
That's
that
true.
intro is in
That's-
7, and then it goes into a regular 4/4. But like that song's incredible.
All I'm trying to say is all this like be true to yourself sort of talk. If you make a fucking Christmas album, fuck you. You're not in. You're
You
not
are
in.
not
this-
being true. Are
you're
you
not being-
Jesus?
Yeah, exactly. You're not being true to yourself.
Are you a wise man?
Yeah.
But you know what's so crazy though is the number one like selling singles of all time are Christmas songs. Like the number one was a White Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. How does anybody from Florida buy into that fucking song, right?
real.
What do you mean?
Or like anybody.
Like White Christmas. Like
yeah.
we're in
it's
Florida. Like
It's just this is the thing. Even
That's what you- that's
you
what
go,
you're
you
dreaming
go to
about.
the retail sector, right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I
Isn't
got
it? Isn't it like 60? I think I could be wrong completely on this number, but it's like 60% of certain companies' sales are during the holiday season.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
that's what Black Friday is.
that's why they start
because
flooding you
this
with
is- this is-
Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas items well
Yeah.
before.
This is something that
That's what Black
everybody-
Friday is. Black Friday is when every business goes into the black after they've been in debt all fucking year long.
All
It's
I'm saying is,
because-
we talk about is like TikTok and Instagram and like do it yourself thing, but we never really talk about like how to make a Christmas album and fucking make it big, because that's what it really is. I'm not joking.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
We
You're
should
right.
be
You
we should
make
be
a
fucking
Dynamite Christmas song,
Yeah.
and you're set for life, man.
yeah.
For real.
Well, this is the thing. It comes back. It circles
so
back.
weird. It's true.
It
Though.
circles back to what we're saying. It's all about being a part of something. When you listen to a song and you feel a certain way, if you can relate with other people around that same type of year or time of year, you sit down with your family and you're feeling a certain way
Oh,
where
that
you're
fucking,
comfortable.
yeah, that
in yourself.
anxiety of like just having to like buy gifts and be around your family you don't even like half the time.
Nobody
I
has
feel
like
that.
a mild opinion
Yeah.
about
It's
Christmas
It's like
music.
how much did I have to smoke before I could come
Yeah.
here? And
Yeah.
Do I have to leave
But
and smoke
goddamn,
again?
that food is
before-
crazy,
Do I have to
bro.
come back?
You know that
Yeah.
food's gonna be crazy. That's
Yeah.
really
No
what it
offense,
comes
Mom. I
down
love your food.
No, but I mean, it's really just about that community, man. And I mean, music is all about. Christmas is a macro version of that. It's a large scale version of that community that people can really just buy into at a certain period of time.
Yeah.
But as an artist, it's really important to find your own Christmas. Like find your own way that people can listen to your music and be part of something.
Create
you
that
know?
culture in your
Damn.
music, man.
Find your own Christmas.
Find
Dude,
your-
find your own
Christmas.
fucking
Wow.
Christmas, bro.
That was
That's
fucking
very
deep,
profound.
bro. That is the quote of the podcast.
Yeah,
I would
that's
say.
fucking deep.
Find your own Christmas.
Dude, find your own.
Mine is Lloyd. Lloyd Christmas.
Lloyd Christmas.
Like, from Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, okay. I got
Sorry.
you.
Oh my
got you.
God.
We
Took me a
landed.
second
Oh, that's
there.
right. No, that's
I'm
okay.
working a little slow today, guys. Sorry.
Nah,
That
you're
was
right.
like one of my not as good dad jokes.
But that is interesting though. Like you can, if you want to, be like an oil tycoon type of fucking person, and you can tap into all these like communities that already exist that need music. for example, Christian music.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, like you're not gonna make it big, but good Lord, if you get the paycheck, if you're Chris Tomlin or fucking what's his name,
Or Hillsong.
Thank you. Yeah, or like, I was trying to think of the Stomp. What's his fucking
I
name?
remember
can't think of his
these when
name.
I'd be on Cartoon Network when I was a kid, and I'd see these
It's a
like
soul
these
guy.
these commercials for like these
Even in the rap world, like a Lecrae.
CDs of these like Christian music compilations, and I would just see these arenas just completely sold out, and this guy's just on an acoustic guitar like, I can feel it calling back again.
Fucking live, bro.
We're
Live.
Is this a
We're gonna
campfire
get
or a
fucking
Creed
taken off
concert?
YouTube.
Like,
Like, bro, these people are like, that's the thing. You're right. Like,
Yeah.
bro, it really doesn't
They
matter
found their
what lane
Christmas,
you're
bro.
in. Just find your lane.
I
you
found
know?
my
like,
I found my Christmas in you.
Don't make it weird.
I'm
right?
gonna make it weird. It's my fucking house.
All right.
But it's
my
fucking
house.
I make the
crazy
rules.
that you can do that, and like all that money's going straight to God, of course, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's going straight to the artist, which is
You
good
say,
for
I'm a
them.
fucking PR.
I wonder what his
nightmare.
exchange rate is.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say, like, there is like that's what it is. That's what fucking you start really making the money, like the real estate money is
you find
having
your lane.
having the community.
Yeah,
the
you
family.
find your lane,
So I've
you
been
find
saying
your
it for a long
culture,
time. Create
and
culture
then
in your
you
music.
become the
That's all
LeBron
I'm
James
saying.
of that lane.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you got to do. Like, you gotta just go find what
I
you
will
do.
not criticize LeBron. I was gonna talk about Michael Jordan.
No, there's a reason why every single
quarterback of
fucking
the
in
NHL.
Chicago every day that they came up with the new Jordans, it's sold out in Chicago, and to buy a fucking pair of Jordans is fucking like $600. Like it's ridiculous. It's impossible to fucking do that. But that's because they fucking love him, not the shoes.
They love
Yeah.
what comes with it. They love what
They're
it
part of a
means.
culture, a community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do is make a culture, and then a fan, like a deadhead fan, they're never gonna stop buying your shit.
Tell
No.
you, find
I
10
there's
people.
so many
Find
Grateful
10
Dead cover
people.
bands. Like they owe so much to the Grateful Dead. Like
Yeah.
I mean, there's some great ones. Like
Yeah.
I mean, just for
Joe,
instance, like
Joe Russo's almost dead. Like fucking sells out all the time, but it's all the Grateful Dead still.
Yeah, but like jazz versions of their tunes, which is kind of a cool interpretation.
Whatever. Dark Star Orchestra. Thing.
Dark Star, totally.
That's the thing. Just find 10 people that'll spend $1 million on you each.
I'm into that.
You're set.
But
That's
that
it. Just do that.
I mean, you're joking, but
find 10 people that have $10 million. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
I mean,
are
as much as
good.
you're joking, I mean, I did see. I hate to say a meme because like everything seems like a meme these days. Like any graphic you see with text on it, you're like, this is a meme. But it said if you can make 10 fans, you can make 100. If you can make 100, you can make 1,000. If you can make 1,000, you can make 100,000.
Yeah.
So
And
if you
so
just
on and so
applied,
forth.
you know, if you just applied,
Because people are that basic.
No.
I mean,
I'm just joking.
I
kids.
know I am.
Yeah.
I definitely am pretty
mean,
basic.
Dude, people's personalities are so different, but at the same time, you know, I don't mean to sound like I'm rambling on, but honestly, like, there are similarities and certain qualities that just seem to run through multiple people.
Yeah,
and a lot
100%.
of people have a lot of similarities
Yeah.
that you can really be a part of, you know, and you can really connect with, even if you're across the world. And the beauty about the world we live in is nowadays you can connect with somebody in South Korea, you can connect with somebody, you know, in Sudan, you know, like you can
Seattle or Vancouver, like
yeah.
like with Jonah's.
Yeah, we released when we released City Girl, months later,
the
some
middle of
dude in
COVID,
Vancouver we
during
had never
lockdown.
heard of made a whole dance cover and made a whole video.
Had a whole dance studio of people.
And it was crazy.
That's dope.
That's the most incredible thing about it is you just stay true. You're gonna find those people that are gonna be along. You know, they are gonna come along with you for the ride. You know, and you just gotta stay true to what you're doing and put in the time and really like just not worry about where it goes, because I don't know, man. Now I'm starting to ramble on.
It's cliche, but the process is more important than the end result.
100%. 100%. All right, so we gotta go to unpopular opinions.
Did you tell them about this?
So
already?
no, unpopular opinions is the last segment of the show where we do basically Billy and I do 3 each, and we give our guests one at the end. So you guys
Okay.
each get one. So
Okay.
think about it while we're doing ours.
Okay.
All right, so Bill, what's yours?
I'm
It
pretty
doesn't
sure.
have to be about anything specific. It can be about whatever you
Yeah,
want.
it's just supposed to be unpopular. I think my first one, I'm pretty sure is. I just want to make sure I got
I
it.
hope you don't take mine.
Well,
I've got one.
I'm kind of just tired of Bo Burnham. Like I'm just tired of him.
No, man.
What?
That
Yeah,
special was
dude,
so
I
good.
feel you.
Have you
man.
seen his latest thing?
I haven't
good.
seen his latest
Yes,
one, but
I
like
understand.
I've
So
seen
good.
the other ones, and I'm like, I don't
So
understand.
good.
Like,
How
he's-
can you
it
be?
is-
That's
he is good.
very
he is funny.
unpopular and with good reason.
So good. It's
Nailed
so
it.
good.
I think he would like that I hate him.
Nailed it.
I said I think he would like that I
That
hate
was
him.
Probably
very
would.
unpopular
Probably
opinion.
would. Well, you know, he's kind of crossed
not-
that
I'm-
boundary of like comedian now. It's like
Yeah.
what his new special was like something else.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. He's a genius. He's a genius.
Like now, people will be a Bo Burnham, not a comedian.
I just.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Cool. Yeah, no one ever figured out how to fucking play piano and then also sing at the same time.
That's not
no,
what
it's
it
not
is,
about
man.
that. No.
No,
Never
Let's
ever.
not
The
oversimplify. Bill
cons,
Burnham.
yeah, to
Bo
way over.
Burnham.
That's what he does, though. He's
That's what it
He's kind of a
is.
dumb person.
That's
It's
what
not-
it
I
is.
accept him.
It's not what
He's-
it is.
He,
That's what it is.
The
Way
lighting,
more nuance. Way
the-
more
the-
nuance.
The lighting, the ideas that he had with that, like just the concept overall of that thing. is
How
amazing.
something could be so random yet so calculated at the same time to me blows my mind.
Exactly.
And as somebody that has to be calculated, but also have to be very creative at the same time, to me, watching something like Bo Burnham, a Bo Burnham special, and just like, how did he even think of this? You know,
loved it.
like it's so random yet, yeah, everything
Brilliant.
is so
It's genius.
calculated to the second. To me, that's what makes Bo.
And
so
what I said originally was that I'm just tired of it. I never said it was bad. I'm just like, I just don't think
Okay.
we have to keep on
I've
fucking
watched it
talking
twice,
about
and I'm
it.
still into it.
I
The
watched
music's
half
really
of
good,
it. And
too.
I
I
was
mean,
kind of bored.
I don't like him, and now
I'm
I'm thinking
honestly-
about going home and watching it.
Go ahead.
It's-
Everybody
it's
watch
re-
it. It's
it's
good.
good.
I'm not saying it's not good. It's just like
it's a roller coaster of
fucking A,
emotions.
it's not that
It
good.
is.
It's not a comedy special.
real
No,
That's
emotion.
what
at
I heard.
all.
It's very serious.
It
but
does. It
It's
gets
also
very
really
serious,
funny.
but you're
But-
gonna laugh your ass off. But you're also gonna be like, damn.
I
Yeah.
didn't laugh one time.
It really is. It's.
But
it's
I'm not supposed to laugh.
it's a-
Apparently, I'm supposed to feel real sad.
It's a social
Not
commentary.
because
I
it's
mean,
really what it is. It's like it's just super depressing, and then you laugh at yourself for being so depressed. I'm not trying to say it's not good. I just like fucking
Genuine.
pick a fucking lane.
All right, what's
You-
next?
Okay,
What's next?
okay.
Give me
Okay.
another one.
So,
That was good. That was very unpopular.
So my first one is that I'm not really big on peeing in the shower.
You're not big on it.
Not big on it.
Oh, why is that? Just go into detail.
I'd rather just pee before I get in the shower.
yeah, it's like
That's a
who
waste
has
of
peed
water.
in here before me.
I don't.
That's a
think-
waste of water.
I don't think.
Hopefully
anybody,
not R. Kelly.
I don't think anybody who's actually peed in the shower was like, I gotta pee right now.
I
Like,
didn't say
no,
I've
I'll
never
just
done
do
it.
in
I just
the
said I'm not a
shower.
big fan of it.
I straight up just.
You pee in the shower because you're like, fuck, I gotta get out of here and I have to pee.
I don't. But that does. I'm just.
I
not
don't
into
even
that.
think about the fact that I need to pee.
Yeah.
If I am in the shower and coincidentally I need to pee, I'm not even thinking about peeing. I'm just letting nature take its course, and I
Yeah.
just pee.
I don't think there's anything
I
gross
just
about
I
peeing
get
in
it
the
all done
shower.
before.
That's
I
just
get
like
in
a
the shower.
reflex. If my body's wet, you're like, I'm gonna pee.
Have you ever taken a shower with somebody before and they peed on you?
Okay,
Nope.
how about this?
I
This
have.
is gonna be weird. There's nothing
That
worse.
What would
though.
happen to you?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
There's
she
nothing
did.
worse.
She just did, and she wasn't even thinking. We were just taking a shower, and she just peed on me, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't even think about it."
Yeah, dude, that exactly.
But like,
it's just
it's way different. Like that Seinfeld episode when someone pees on you, it's way fucking different than you peeing in the shower.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
maybe even peeing on yourself to some degree.
But yeah, I guess it's kind
Alright,
of
next.
popular.
It's getting weird.
Michael
Very weird.
Michael Keaton is hands down the most underrated actor of all time.
He's the most underrated Batman of all time. I'll give you that
actor
much.
of all time.
Actor,
Batman
Yeah.
also.
He's okay.
Yeah,
he's
it's
okay.
great.
unpopular
He's good.
opinion.
He's great.
good.
I like
That's
him.
good.
I love him.
He's a
I
good
think
actor.
he's amazing. It's not really that confrontational.
Wasn't very wasn't very controversial. Okay, my next one.
Alright.
I believe everyone should leave their hometown even if they come back at some point.
Yeah,
I think
agree
everybody
with
should do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that. It is unpopular because most people stay where they're
Comfortable.
from, you know, than what they're comfortable. But yeah,
Especially if your
I
family's
agree.
here.
I hear so many people talk shit about Jacksonville and the community here, especially the arts and music community. And I'm just like, okay, you say that because you haven't left here before. And I left where I was from in South Florida and came to a place like this, which on the surface to a lot of people seems crazy, but like to me there's so much more going on here. And also because like I didn't know anybody here and had to like work my ass off to really like find that community, and found it and have been able to like utilize it to help me in a lot of ways. So I think it's very important to leave your hometown.
I mean, I'm born and raised from a place that takes you a whole day of flying on a plane to get to, you know. So I'm definitely a big advocate for just getting uncomfortable and getting away from what you're used to. And not only that, but doing it at a relatively young age where, you know, you are very malleable as far as your mind and as far as what you're influenced by, you know. And
100%.
And no, I agree with that.
All right, Bill.
My last one really isn't an unpopular opinion, but I came up with it when I was drunk, and it's just as funny. So here we go. The next person who yells Freebird at a show, I'm gonna find out where they work, and then play Freebird in their office during their huddle meeting.
You know, a lot of these people would be completely okay with that.
That'd be a great TikTok.
I was trying to think of like how I could just like ruin your fucking day and somehow
You're gonna have to play a great song for them.
Yeah.
because it would be, it would have to be so specific that like going to your job, like, and if you worked at like I don't fucking know, like at Kinko's, and just being like
Yeah.
fucking Freebird, like,
Or
what's
to
the
be like
Freebird at Kinko's? I don't know what that
Going,
is.
feels good
going
to
to
be a
church and
gangster.
playing Hallelujah for them, and like, no, not that kind of
or-
Hallelujah.
yeah.
Like, not that.
Well,
no.
maybe go to like a Kinko's and play "Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster" like in Office Space.
Michael Bolton.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that,
No,
I,
you don't get another one.
No,
You
I'm
got
just saying
three.
I ran out of time. Honestly, I just forgot about it because I was out of town. So that's what I had for a while ago. And then I just have build a band for the podcast that I wrote down.
Okay, it sounds
Don't know
great.
what that means.
All right, so my last
but
one.
I wrote it down.
My last one is that pit bulls are the best dog breed that there is.
Yeah, I've never been attacked and mauled by a pit bull. Oh wait, I totally have. They're the worst fucking
When you
dog
were like
on the planet.
fucking 5 years old, get
I was
over
about
it,
I was
bro.
about 6 or 7, somewhere around there.
I mean, I
Get
wouldn't say best. I
over it.
love pit bulls. Don't get me wrong. My brother-in-law,
They
my
kill
sister-in-law,
people.
they have a great.
All dogs kill
Her name
people.
is
That's
Sabby.
that's not true.
Oh,
All
dogs go to
guns
heaven.
kill
She is a
people.
wonderful pit bull, but I've seen her go into a blind rage
There you go.
and get very bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's
They
all
keep-
dogs.
They keep,
That's
yeah,
all dogs.
It's all dogs.
No,
And
they're
I
not.
will
That's what
say,
triggers them.
I will
No,
say,
it's
pit bulls
not.
keep you on your toes a little bit. There's, you know, they have a bit of an anger problem sometimes, but it makes them that much more fun to figure out. You
It's
know
an
what I mean?
unpopular opinion for
It's-
sure.
It's like
It's-
but this is the thing.
They're so
If
emotional.
a
and
big
so
buff
unique.
dude gets mad and punches a wall, it's obviously gonna be a lot more forceful than if like somebody that is, you know, like very short gets mad and like, oh man,
Don't
I'm done with
underestimate
this,"
little people,
and
man.
just
There's some
like
crazy little
thumps a
people
wall
out there,
real
bro.
quick. You know, that's gonna make you laugh. You know, like.
It's just a lot more scary when you see a big person losing.
And
their
I mean,
shit.
like,
Pitbulls are
no.
small too. Pitbulls are
try-
little.
But I'm trying to like equate it to like
Yeah.
like humans. Like if a human was about that big and like was completely just genetically modified to just be tiny and deformed and like got mad and punched a wall, like you would laugh at that because that's funny. But if a big ass buff dude got mad and punched a wall, that's kind of scary. It's the same thing with pit bulls. Like
Yeah,
all
they're
dogs
built
have the
for
same-
that shit,
even
man.
Tiny little dogs that have been through generations and generations of genetic modification, they bark at you and chase you. Like, you're not that scared because it's a tiny little dog. But if a pit bull chases you, that's scary because
Yeah.
they're big-ass behemoths of animals, you know?
They're very strong, and they can do some damage when
Yeah,
they don't
dogs are
mean
dogs,
to.
bro.
But
Dogs are
they're my favorite breed just because I've raised one for a long time now.
Melody's
And
great.
Melody's awesome.
She's a sweet dog. but-
Dogs are
Until she sees any other animal in the world, then she goes a fucking psychopath.
But what-
However, I love the challenge of that dog, of that breed,
You
though.
need that bicep strength.
Yeah,
You need
What
the
was your
saying, bro.
original
strength to help
opinion,
you
though?
Pull back that leash, be like, yo,
That-
chill out.
That pit bulls
It's
are
also
the-
about your mind too,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That pit bulls are the best dog breeds. We said.
Yeah.
I'm
Nah.
a Rottweiler guy though. I love Rottweilers.
You know what?
So.
I actually am too, man.
love Rottweilers.
Get a lab. A
I had
Labrador.
a- I had
that's
a
the best-
Rescues are the best breed.
They're the best breed.
Labs are for fucking cucks, bro. I'm gonna say. it.
Wow.
I'm gonna say it. No. I love Rottweilers also. When I was a child, I had a Rottweiler, and I loved that dog. But yeah, I mean, I would probably, if I was being like this is partly my girlfriend's unpopular opinion also. If I had to be 100% honest, Rottweiler's my favorite breed of all time.
Yeah, Rottweilers.
I just like because they have a stronger bite than pit bulls do. They're also like much bigger than pit bulls, and they're,
My
they're
neighbor
also
had such a scary
adorable.
Rottweiler, man. His name
Super
was Bruno.
sweet.
This dude scared the shit out
They're
of me,
huge.
and he
I love
never
them.
ever left the
They
fence.
run in like slow motion too. Like they're just huge, but they're also like they're gentle.
I fucking love them to death. I love
Dogs
Rottweilers.
are just great, dude.
Yeah,
Dogs
I
are
love
awesome.
Love dogs.
I wish all
Okay.
dogs
I
lived
like
forever.
dogs. Yeah. Okay. Now it's y'all's turn.
Where my dogs at? I don't know if this is necessarily like pop culture as much more of like it's like popular in our culture right now, and I think it's something that's kind of total bullshit. And in some ways it is, in some ways it isn't, but I feel like cancel culture as a whole is something that we all kind of need to address, because if we want people to learn and grow from their issues, while there is some value in like shunning someone or, you have to call people out when they do things that are wrong.
Totally.
But if you expect them to rebound from that, I mean, there's levels to this, man. Like, you can't. I ain't talking about, mercy for rapists and murderers.
Yeah.
But to some extent, like, calling out people for something they did 8 years ago on Twitter, when everything they've done.
There's gotta be a line
in the
that's
past.
drawn.
Yeah, there has to be a line that's drawn somewhere, and we have to find a way to be constructive moving forward from that, and not just, trying to completely shit on someone.
Did you know what my solution was? For that problem is every person that was canceled, they get to be on one TV network, and so and you fucking pay top fucking dollar for that.
Tell me
right?
you wouldn't watch that fucking TV.
Yeah,
I would.
everybody's gonna
Absolutely.
watch
The
that.
canceled news
Ryan
network.
Cowell, Crystalia, all of
CNN.
them.
Louis C.K.'s
Louis
gone,
CK.
man. Fucking Bill Cosby's gone. Like,
Damn.
Come on.
Bill Cosby
Yeah, I
can go
mean,
to
yeah,
hell.
Bill
like-
Cosby deserved. to be
Yeah,
canceled.
he
Yeah.
can go to hell.
So like, and I'm just saying that's an even better thing to go into. It's like, so everything that they created and everything, we're just like, well, we're never gonna listen to that because that was bad. It's just very, very fucking hard to give up like something that was so great. Like
Michael
everybody,
Jackson.
Like,
Yeah,
people are
Michael
still
Jackson.
listening to R. Kelly.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
a lot of people like to get pissed on, apparently.
And Michael Jackson too. A lot of
Yeah.
boys like to get raped, apparently,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm trying to
God,
say.
man, you're making me feel so convicted because I love
God.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, who doesn't
My,
like
my
Michael
girlfriend,
Jackson?
my
I
girlfriend
can sing
can't
like
even-
Michael Jackson.
My girlfriend, my girlfriend can't even like listen to
Black
people
leather
say
gloves.
that shit because
No
she
sequels.
knows that it's true.
It is
but at the
true.
same time, she loves Michael Jackson so much.
Yeah.
Where it literally just like makes her like cringe when she
Yeah.
hears that shit. So yeah, I get it. But he should also go on that channel as well.
Yes, yeah. It's like, man, how do we separate the art from the person? And
You just
we just
there's-
went down a dark road.
We did.
There's definitely like a Venn diagram or something like that about like how good your art is versus how much you can get away
Andrew
with.
Schultz talked about that on
What?
Joe Rogan's podcast, where it was like there's a thing where it's like how much did your art contribute to society
Yeah.
versus how much did the deed take away from society.
Yeah, that
and
is
that's
true.
kind of like the level.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, Michael Jackson had that much of an impact on society as an artist versus what his deeds
And it-
did. He did it on a couple kids.
And at the same time,
are you gonna do?
I have seen where cancel culture has
fucked up.
turned some people into better people because they have had to
Yeah,
rebound from it. So
because
like,
they got caught.
they got caught. They got caught.
But like,
this-
imagine if Jeff Bezos turns out that he's diddling kids. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's gonna stop using Amazon. No.
No.
He contributed that much to
Yeah,
society.
you're sorry. That's the end of it.
Like,
would
you want us to go back to Walmart?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not happening.
You ever been to Walmart on Normandy Boulevard?
All right, Reed.
Yeah,
where
actually,
you at?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I go there like twice
For
a week.
me, I'm
Garden
gonna
Center's
I'm
nice.
gonna end this on a high note.
Yeah.
For me, unpopular opinion, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that may agree. T-Pain is the greatest.
R&B artist ever.
What?
Ugh.
Ever.
Dude,
Ever.
Most influential, greatest artist.
most
T-Pain-
influential and greatest. Those are two
T-Pain-
separate things.
Two separate-
Everything.
I'll give
T-Pain
you-
is everything.
I'll give you.
I fuck with T-Pain.
T-Pain
Listen,
is
man.
everything.
T-Pain, NPR.
When you go to
No,
sleep
auto-tune?
at night and you pray to God,
You pray to T-Pain.
you pray to T-Pain as well. You better thank Jesus. You better thank Baby Jesus for
Yeah, that's
for
unpopular
T-Pain.
as fuck,
8
bro.
pounds,
I'll
6
tell
ounces.
You think he's better than Marvin Gaye?
Oh my God,
Bro, this man loves Marvin Gaye.
I'm a
Don't
big Marvin
get
Gaye
us
fan.
started.
That's the best.
love Marvin
That's
Gaye.
the best R&B ever.
I was about
No.
to make an awful joke.
That
Dude,
it
I was
very
about
well
to say,
may be.
one day he's going to ask his own father
But
to shoot him.
ushering-
That's how much he
Oh
loves
my
Marvin
God.
Gaye.
ushering a new era of music and sound. T-Pain is where it's at.
really
T-Pain is
better than the Isley Brothers.
yes.
Footsteps in the Dark.
Yes.
And it doesn't do it for you.
Nope.
T-Pain.
I love
sorry.
it. No, I love it.
Better than Mozart.
I love all that.
Here's what I'm saying.
Let me- hang on, hang on.
Auto-tune,
Let me-
Auto-tune was the worst thing that happened to hip hop, and
No.
the worst thing that happened to R&B.
Disagree.
And you
It's
can
not.
thank T-Pain for
I
that
don't know,
shit.
man. If you had heard some of the things that I've recorded and then you heard them after auto-tune,
Oh, no.
especially when you need to make those ad-libs glue together.
Let me
Yeah.
rephrase. Let me rephrase.
That's the extreme
No,
auto-tune.
let me rephrase. Auto-tune as a vocal effect
Yeah.
is
tool.
no,
tool.
it's fine, and some view it that way. I'm
As a
all
substitute for talent,
You're
Look-
right. Now, if we're talking about Emma Roberts in the Beauty and the Beast type auto tune, it makes me want to shoot myself.
Oh, Emma Watson, you mean?
Emma Watson. I'm sorry, Emma Watson. That's that as far as auto tune, and that
That's
that
just
was
disguising
crazy.
stuff.
That was insane. But if
Yeah.
you're talking about auto tune as just a vocal effect, and
I hate
as
it.
A
The
aesthetic,
worst.
It's very unpopular.
It-
These
it
are
can-
really good ones. Except for my
like-
last one.
Like T-Pain ushered in that whole, him and like Lil Wayne ushered in that,
Yes.
and Lil Wayne also started.
He's about it.
Lil Wayne's like the godfather of mumble rap, also in my
Yeah.
opinion.
he's like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna drink some
And-
codeine, be
and
like,
just start
Tochi.
Literally, Lil Wayne circa 08 or 09 started
Carter 3.
mumble rap.
Yeah.
That's it. And
08
then,
was the best time in music.
Oh,
08
what?
was so incredible.
no,
bro.
oh what? Not 08. Oh what?
08, dude. The Carter
How old are
3
you?
is one of the greatest albums.
graduated
ever.
high
I
school in 08.
agree. I fucking
Carter
love that
3
album.
And Three Rings, they both came out the same year.
Yep.
Those two albums molded me as a musician. And don't get me wrong,
The
I
reason
love-
why Lil Wayne gets the credit for being the best rapper alive is because
That's Outkast for me.
he put out so much material, but
Yeah.
people also like
He's
don't realize that
consistent.
it was so bad, most of it.
But his features, bro, he brings it for a feature, though.
Real
when
G's-
someone's like, yo, I'm going to pay you to be on my song, he's like,
dude, Lil
Toot
Wayne
it.
is
Real
a
G's
great
roll in
rapper.
silence like lasagna. You can go fuck yourself for that line. How
I'm
about
not-
that?
I'm making
so
this a
dumb.
clip.
Come on, though.
just to
That's a
show
great
fucking
line.
Corey
It's
this.
so dumb. It's
He
so
said-
dumb. He can go to
he
hell.
said,
You know who really
Got a pistol on the playground. Watch the gun play.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. What?
So stupid.
No, it's not though. It's,
It's
great.
genius,
It-
though.
no, you know who a real genius is. You know who really moved hip hop forward was Outkast with Southern
I
Brothers and
agree.
Cadillac
Absolutely.
music.
Absolutely.
Like that's real innovation. What Lil Wayne and T-Pain, if you ask me, with the autotune shit
Distortion?
did, is it was a regression in hit.
I don't know,
No,
bro.
it's not.
Have you watched T-Pain with no auto-tune on
No,
NPR?
no,
Yeah,
I'm
I've
not
seen that.
arguing that T-Pain's talented. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that his contribution with autotune destroyed R&B and hip hop. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree because it's not like we saw a complete absence of R&B singers without autotune.
It also gives some people a voice that never would have been able to even.
It's as if you just
Maybe they shouldn't have a voice.
They shouldn't have
you
a
got
voice.
it's
They shouldn't
like
have a
you got a
voice.
road and then you just add a whole new lane.
Yeah.
You just add on to the culture.
I'm all for that. I'm just saying that people like Marvin Gaye and Ovi Wright and fucking like that whole era of R&B where and
everything
soul,
was pure.
where it was so just like real
you're
and
right.
raw. And I'm not the guy that's gonna sit here and argue against technology. I love technology. I think the autotune as an effect was the worst decision that could have happened in
And I'm just
hip-hop.
trying to say, if
In
Outkast
R&B.
was so influential, why aren't there more hip hop and R&B acts that sound like Outkast?
I mean, Kendrick
They're-
Lamar
they're-
has
no,
it,
they
though,
all
man.
do.
Like,
You don't understand if you really study Andre 3000 and Big Boy, like their flow and the way that they if you really study it, you will understand that every rapper after them
birthed ATL, man. Like,
not
Yeah,
just
and
ATL. Every rapper, Eminem, literally is just a clone of Andre 3000, right? Like, and then like all the influences that he had. It's like you just have to understand that if you really study what they did, you understand that every rapper that came after them was just trying to be them. That's all it is. It doesn't matter where they were from, the South, the North, Northeast. it doesn't matter. Like,
Where's Lil Wayne's from Louisiana, right? Like
he's from New Orleans. Yeah. Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne had his own style, though.
Yeah,
That's
when
a cool
he was
thing.
with-
Nobody else can be Lil Wayne.
No,
Where's
no,
T-Pain
when Lil
from?
Wayne was in the Hot Boys, when Lil Wayne was in the Hot Boys,
He's
you got me. Like I love Lil Wayne and the Hot
Florida
Boys.
I didn't know
right?
that.
But like when Lil Wayne started doing
reason
the
I fuck with
fucking,
him.
you know, like mumble rap thing, that's when he lost me. When he started doing like 100 songs in 1 year.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's like,
I
bro,
was
you
like, bro, what are you
obviously
doing?
need some money.
Yeah.
You want out of your contract.
Yeah.
You do not like Birdman.
Yeah,
Put
exactly.
some respect on your name.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like you, like when he was doing Hot Boys and shit, that was okay. I love Lil Wayne. Then it was like circa 08, 09. I was like, yo, you are terrible. You were
Like around the time like
Carter
Lollipop
3 was
came
incredible.
out.
Yes,
No,
exactly.
dude, that album is insane.
I love that.
Have you
I
listened
love
to
that
Hot Boys?
album.
to some degree.
Oh, so you don't know about early Lil Wayne then? Well, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Oh, okay, we gotta get. Oh man,
He's-
okay,
he's
it's
too
fine.
young.
I get, and I understand why you like what the air that you like, and I hate. And
Dude,
hate,
I think it's actually
I hate to play
very
the age
important
thing
for us to be able to like work on modern music together in some ways because we're almost like in two different eras. But
It's
we still
amazing,
connect.
and bro, and I respect the hell out of the technology and where music is going. I love all the possibilities, but I understand. But like, I understand, and I hate to play the age card because I hate when people do that shit to me. But I get why that is the reference for you.
Yeah.
There, but Lil Wayne, when he was with the Hot Boys, man, that shit was untouchable. Are you,
Right,
D-Boy,
No,
are
I
you
get
kidding me? Shit like that, you're just like, yo, this dude is fucking wild.
Yeah.
And then he started doing all that shit like in 08, 09 with that mumble rapping. You're just like, oh, what did he do to himself? Because we
Right.
have the reference from before.
Yeah, and
I mean,
and you're right.
No, I'm
There's
not gonna say what I
artists.
was
There's
about to say.
artists that I admired in high school that today I really am rather apathetic about because they're just not the same. Like the prime example for me is Joey Badass, right? Like when I was in high school, bro, Joey Badass, his flow,
1999.
his lyricism, his just manipulation of the English language was impeccable. But you listen to his stuff now, and it's a little different. I mean, I'm still
The
a
last
Joey
time that did
Badass
it for
fan. I'll
me
still
was, like,
listen
Before
to
the
what
Money.
he
That
makes.
one-
Sure.
But it's just not the same. So I definitely feel you on that. Where it's just like when you get that taste of what it's like when it's really just like gutta and
Yeah,
like just
exactly.
like from like when they were super hungry.
Yes.
And then there's that. Then there's also that part of them where it's just like
I'm
I've made
bored.
mine and I'm gonna make up. But I'm going to disagree with you on when that happened with Lil Wayne and T-Pain.
Yeah.
To me, 2008 was the golden age, bro. Three
I
Rings.
feel like early 2000s.
Go back and listen to-
Yeah,
for
that,
me.
that's
Listen
what-
to Three
well,
Rings.
Seems like there's a common theme here. There's like a 5-year gap in
Yeah,
between what we
exactly.
view as the golden age.
Yeah, well, because that's when we were that age, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's also like for at least those guys. If you talk about the golden age of hip hop for me, like we're the 90s all day. I mean, like we're talking like
Tupac, Biggie.
yeah, but like Tribe Called Quest, like early Outkast. That to me is like it. But I also love like early 2000s hip hop, but like not the mainstream
Everything
shit.
has its merit. But
Yeah,
yeah, there is
totally.
that point in time that really makes an impression on you, and there is a, you know, even an evolutionary thing where there is a certain period of your life that certain things make certain
nostalgic.
impressions on you.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Sure,
So
it's
like,
nostalgic. I get
yeah,
it.
but that's circling back to how Jared and I work together because we're not super far in age. But what is it, about 5 years or so?
It's enough.
You know, it's enough where we have different enough tastes, but also similar enough tastes where we can be devil's advocate in certain
It helps us
cases.
reach a broader
but
audience.
we can also come together on certain things.
So
and we can also
you-
be like-minded.
So you can keep his old ass current, and then he can keep your young ass from sounding
This
like
dude-
shit.
Yeah.
the
That's
main
been
thing
bottom of
this
the
dude
bill this
tells
week,
me-
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
You gotta remind me how corny I am.
Yeah.
Once, and I gotta be like, yeah, man, I am pretty fucking corny,
Bro,
and I'm cool with it.
And then-
gotta
and then you
own
got
it, bro.
Jonah.
Be
Jonah-
authentically you.
But this is funny because I think Jared and Jonah are almost 10 years apart, and I'm literally right in the middle. So like,
You're bridging that gap.
as a whole, the three of us, that's why we make things so well together, because we are kind of, I don't know, we all take from our own experiences, but then we're also open enough to kind of connect with each other,
experiences.
you
Totally,
know. So
totally.
it's
Yes, I still don't think age has anything to do with it because we're like 4 months apart, right? Me and you, right?
Yeah.
And you're like 90. in comparison to me.
Well, you're like a child though.
Well, I was saying that fucking Car 3 was like one of the best fucking albums ever when I was fucking.
But you don't know shit about hip hop, so your point's irrelevant.
And you think you know everything, so you're an old man.
That's
Is what I'm trying to get at.
why you're a child.
That's why you're an old man.
This has been another episode of Bottom of the Bill, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is a lot of fun.
Man, this is
Appreciate
great,
you
man.
having us, man.
Absolutely, man. We'll have to do this one again. This is really a lot of fun. I really
All right.
enjoyed this.
Absolutely.
Are you calling it?
Calling it.
All right, well, adios, muchachos.